Move your feet like this. Move your feet like this. 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 Like this.
We like to party every day, party, party every day. Party every day, party, party every day. We like to party every day, party, party every day. Party every day, party, party every day. We like to
Sorry, I got distracted by my ramen. I got distracted by my ramen. It's delicious. Anyway, we're gonna play some Stronghold while I watch BJ. You don't know who BJ is, that's a you problem. What up, babies? How's it going? I know, it's pretty late, but I'm gonna eat some fucking ramen and, play some video games. Ready?
Me fail English? That's impossible!
Jay, we're already starting our second baby? Oh my goodness. Hey, Daddy. How you doing, baby? I'm going to play a game called Stronghold Crusader. You may not have heard of it. Or you might be a ginormous fucking nerd that actually does. I love this game. That's a good game. Favorites. Because everybody's stuck in that. I got distracted by my phone and stuff. All right, BJ on. Stronghold, click.
We need to talk. Okay, come gather around. Zombies are hurting people. We need to talk about it.
Oh, sweet. Zombies. I love zombies.
Do not send any hate or honestly comments of any kind to anyone mentioned in this video on behalf of me or yourself. The purpose of this video is to give my commentary and opinion on matters of public concern. Thank you. So, I mean, it would be a meandering path
No,
to tell you
I
how
thought
this
that's
all
what Hell
started.
had
So
an
we'll
update,
just
and I was
start
like,
here. This guy right
but no.
here, zombie, right? Look, Bruce Rivers, the criminal lawyer, reacts to a zombie predator in Colorado. As of the day of the recording of this video is 1 day ago. Let me take a screenshot for the editing department. Because, you know, I made another video
Greetings,
related
sire.
to this one the other day.
The desert
During recording,
awaits
I took
you.
a screenshot. When it came time for to edit it, reality had changed. Matrix had glitched. Anyway. And gave us Kiss from a Rose by Seal. Story for another day. But yeah, so I mean, it's this guy, Solomon something, this person. He's already registered, or not registered. That was part of the issue. A previous S offender, according to reporting. And, you know, there's a video. I don't know how much of it I'll be able to show. I don't want to startle anybody. I don't want to break any rules.
A
But
large
yeah, I mean,
island.
it's like...
I like that. Let's do it.
Place a keep to sight your castle, my liege.
Okay, I know, but like, don't tell me what to fucking do. Hang on. Alright, let's put you right here.
Sight your granary, sire.
My granary. Oh wait. No. Change my mind. I don't want you there. Ah, yeah, fuck. All right, never mind. I got it.
Your popularity is falling.
Yeah, because I took the granary away. Where the hell did it go?
Sight your granary, sire. Needs to be placed adjacent to the
Granary.
stockpile.
Where's my granary?
Stone needed.
Oops. Where's my granary? Oops.
It looks like
Oops.
he's dressed as a ghost.
Oops.
He's got a sheet or a maybe large comforter, down comforter or something over him, and he pops out and starts barreling toward the children. But I mean, these kids, I don't know how old they are, I mean, 5 years old, 8 years old. They're running. You know, they're going full speed that they can go, but they're kids. And this guy just stands no chance at all whatsoever. Okay, so thank God, you know, not a fast runner, this zombie, but like, doesn't it bring to mind like that's what a
Where's
zombie
fucking
is, right?
stockpile
You can
again?
always outrun a zombie in that part of the trope. Like they're just
Where is it?
Like, you run. Like
Granary. There it
and
is.
they're like, I don't know.
Took me a
I
minute.
didn't call him a zombie. I want y'all to look at the title. Zombie
Alright, Granary.
Predator is what Bruce
Granary
Rivers
can go
called
over
him.
there.
Shout out to him. Love that channel. So this guy, you know, I don't know, whatever. But then zombie
over there.
came up recently. Y'all,
Bakery?
it's been taking me a long time to do my makeup lately, so I'm like always watching these long videos in the morning. So then
Okay.
so the other day I'm trying to get dressed. I'm doing my makeup
Hobble?
or whatever. I need something like, you know,
Hobbles.
long to watch, so I don't have to keep trying to find something else new to watch or whatever. So I put on one of
Gold
these
stocks are
videos.
too
It's
low,
like
sire.
The exact moment
Shut up.
this woman knew. I'll try to find the video. It was something so click worthy. I gotta give credit to them over there on that channel. I mean, they will.
People
they will
are
put a title.
leaving
Yeah,
the
they-
castle.
Okay, bye,
sometimes
go.
they change 'em.
Go away, I'm
Anyway,
building
so
anyway.
It was a horrible.
Not
you know, I
enough
don't wanna
wood,
make
my
light of
lord.
it.
Oh,
Also,
Not
it's
enough
somebody
wood,
to
my
do.
lord.
Sorry, buddy,
It was
sorry, buddy.
Horrible.
Where's
like,
my
that
dude
true
that collects
crime
wood?
stuff,
Where you at?
You know, video is long. It was like an hour long, but
Where's my
like the
collect the
crime
wood dude?
itself was really terrible. It had to do with 2 children who are no longer with us, and rest in peace. But the bodies of the children were traveling along in the trunk. So I think even that, you know, we'll have the editing department edit some of those words out. But you know, hopefully you'll be able to get the gist. It's not nothing, you know, to make light of. But anyway, it's really horrible. And you know, I think a lot of the question on my mind is always like, why?
Who's the woodcutter?
Or how did that happen? You know, apparently like one of them had been one of them it's like 18 months was in the trunk. And it was body camera footage, you know, public record, and it ended up coming up. This is another case, right? We're not talking about Zombie Man anymore, but this is gonna loop back around, right? There's like all these zombie instances and zombie moments.
I
don't wanna
did
tell
put
you
the
all about
granary.
recently,
It's right
right?
there.
So there's this body camera footage. and
Wood
it's
needed.
horrible.
Not
You know, the
enough
cops are
wood, my
praying.
lord.
O Allah, seek thy refuge in you from the whisperings of an accursed devil who whispers into the hearts of men.
There he is.
Not enough work
preying
is
on the body
available
camera
to run
and
this
all of that.
building.
And it's horrible. Horrifying. The cops are mad. The women had been pretty much lying to them.
Oh my God, that's a 5. That's a 5. That's a 5-year-old white child. 100%.
Well, then once the script flips, the cops are kind of like, no, you did know this, you knew this. Like, she opens the box that's gonna lead to the stuff, and then she starts running, and she's like trying to act like, you know, why would I run if I didn't do so? Well, how did she had no logic. It was horrible, and the cops were really disgusted, rightfully, praying. It comes time to interrogate or, you know, ask the questions of these women, and even on the scene, there's like 2 women, and one of them's like, you know, kind of the one that the cops are interacting with, and the other one's kind of like not really interacting too much. And the first one, Lady A, I don't know her name, she's like, please, whatever you do, don't arrest her. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. They're gonna get me. But whatever you do, just don't arrest her. Just put it all on me. She didn't know anything. She didn't know anything. She is like, you know, mentally, and she was saying R word, mentally R word.
Yes.
People are coming to the castle.
Ma'am, you can talk to whoever you need to talk to. Ma'am. Ma'am.
And the cop is like, why are you saying that? Why are you saying she's mentally R word? And she's like, she don't know how to do anything. She doesn't even know how to read. And the cop's like, just because a lot of people don't know how to read, that doesn't mean they're like, you know, they're just talking, so they're saying the R word. And so she's like, I'm telling you, she doesn't know anything. Well, anyway, come to find out, that lady, she was found mentally incompetent to stand trial. So there was some type of developmental disability or delay or something going on. She was found to be. Well, in the body camera of her being interrogated, she's really not
Okay,
answering
workers
any
are coming
questions. She
back.
just keeps saying, I want to go home, I want to go
There
home.
we go.
And at
Lovely.
some point, she switches into what appears to be some type of patois, some type of French sounding language, and she just puts her head down and says, zombie, zombie.
Your accent is really thick, so I'm trying to peek through it as you talk.
Lions are attacking, my liege.
Lions?
Please sit down.
It's unmistakable. It's unmistakable. And I'm like, wait, that just kind of reminds me of like this zombie. Like, why zombie? It's the word zombie. The word zombie. She said zombie. I'm not making it up. He said zombie in his title. I'm not making it up. I mean, yeah, I gotta agree. It looks like a zombie. And there's been another situation too lately that they don't actually mention the word zombie, but it gets honorable mention because it just freaks me out so freaking much. There's this Tyler Oliveira video, and I guess it's part of a series. He's got 2 up now. One he goes to Paris, one he goes to Rome, and he's like basically investigating these street scammers and other types of, you know, street activities.
Granary stocks are very low, sire.
With this like gang of people,
there's people
jumps
coming
in.
with apples.
And
Shut
there's,
up.
like, an
Wood
obvious,
needed.
unmistakable zombie.
Fuck, I
in
just
this
got
guy.
wood.
I mean, he's like, his eyes are rolling back. He
I had to
seems to
get
just be mumbling
animal
words.
posts
I mean,
from
you
you.
be the judge. I don't know. You tell me. But like something about this guy seems like it's just giving zombie. Right at that same
Backwood.
moment that I'm thinking that thought, Tyler Oliveira
Wood
gets
needed.
hit dead square in the foot by a dead pigeon, which may or may not have had a head still attached.
Your popularity is rising.
Listen,
More wood is
I grew up in
needed.
Louisiana. I
Where the
know.
fucking woodcutters
I'm
then?
looking at it, but why does that matter? Because I think that was a zombie. I think
Lions
Ryan
are
was a
attacking,
zombie.
my
I think that
liege.
one was a zombie too. But that's just my thoughts. That's just my opinions. Those other 2 are unmistakable. Other people are saying zombie. So what in the hell? Why? What do you mean zombie? What is a zombie? You know, really. And I was thinking about this a lot a few months ago whenever I was doing that research into like the
What the fucking
scopolamine
mercenaries?
and
I need a
those,
merc.
other recent video that we put
Apothecary?
out.
No,
It's
I need
kind of like somebody
mercenaries.
that's lost their
Mercs!
Almost
what,
out
free
of
will or
food,
their soul
sire.
or something, their blood or something, like they kind of like or something. I don't know. Because like in pop culture we see the zombies, right? We had The Walking Dead, we had just even as kids in Halloween movies, you know, with Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. We also saw
Shit.
Scooby-Doo on
My
Zombie
people are
Island.
dying
They
from
had zombies.
lions.
Your popularity is falling.
There's like this reanimated, like stitched together Jekyll and Hyde. All road leads to Cornberry. I have to
Fucking
mark
lions.
it because when we finally make the Cornberry video, y'all are gonna be like, it really does. Anyway, and so now we also have another idea of a zombie, which is like this kind of like robot zombie, like Black Mirror. You know, people are just like zombied out on their phones, or wasn't there another movie like Westwood or something? Oh, like there's just all over pop culture these robot zombies, AI zombies. doing this research, I have that Cranberry song, Zombie. Yeah, that is just stuck. Anyway, it was so stuck in my head, I don't know what it is. But I didn't know this, strictly speaking, until pretty recently when I was doing this research. But zombies actually come, the word zombie comes from Haitian culture, specifically like a denomination of voodoo, which not all voodoo is the same, not all voodoo is created. But within this culture and within that geographical place is where zombies are created. So now, again, there's mixed opinions, and even within
Protect us,
practitioners
you
of voodoo,
fucking idiot.
which I am not, there's distinctions.
People
even
are
within
leaving the castle.
particular places where it's practiced. There's distinctions.
Lions are attacking, my
I
liege.
don't speak. Listen, there's lots
Defend
of ways to
us.
educate yourself. I'm not the
Defense!
of what's voodoo, what's not, but just be aware that this zombie aspect of things isn't necessarily inextricably intertwined with the practice of voodoo anywhere, even Haitian voodoo. Because there's even people in the Haitian voodoo, practitioners community or whatever that say, like, we don't do that, that's witchcraft. So it's disagreed upon whether it is or isn't officially a part of this religion. But
People are coming to the castle.
I'm an actual expert in here, or to explaining it in their own words so they can get an idea of what's going on and how this
Recruits
idea
needed,
of
sire.
zombies could be connected to, like,
Lovely.
voodoo.
Our food
But
stocks
essentially,
are
one of the more
dwindling, my liege.
compelling
Yeah.
Or memorable, even. Just one of the more memorable things that
Okay.
was said in one of these documentaries by one of these guys, which maybe I'll put the clip in here or not, was that originally the creation or the process of making a zombie out of somebody was because they had committed an unrehabilitable, like basically they had gotten the death penalty pretty much, but because of their beliefs and practices, they did not actually believe in putting someone to physical death, but they would make them into a zombie. Well, one thing leads to the next thing, and now we got zombie.
For generations, the heart of every home has always been the kitchen.
No
a place where
stone
families come
anywhere.
together. And nothing brings the whole family together like the steel-made flat top. No more
Crimes going on. It's being used for crimes.
A zombie is somebody who has misbehaved. In fact, somebody that in any other society they would call a criminal. Most likely, in other society,
There's nowhere
this
for
person
pitch.
would have been condemned.
There's nowhere for stone.
Lions are attacking, my liege.
All right then. So we need to focus on
Intolerable.
wood.
Believe in killing people. So in fact, this is why even the
Wood
person
needed.
considered a criminal
It's iron. No.
Wood needed.
No, none of that is stone. No, it's all shit. I can't do any of it.
That desire of committing bad
Wood
things.
cutters.
And this is what zombification is.
The way that they found out that this could actually happen, at least in the Western world, and they were doing scientific
Wood
discovery
needed.
experiments and all
More
kinds of
wood is needed.
investigations and inquiries.
More wood.
Because there was this one guy, this one man, born in like 19...
Wood
you know,
needed.
1992, I think. And
Come on,
he's
woodcutters.
He became very ill one day and was taken to the hospital in a large city at the time. Would have been like a premier hospital. There were American doctors there. He was there for a few days.
Your
He kept
popularity
getting more and more
is rising.
ill, and nobody could figure out really why or what was going on. And he did, unfortunately,
Gosh.
pass away. Nobody.
Granary stocks are very low,
Years
sire.
later, he shows up back up to his sister in the marketplace, and he's like, "Hey, Angelique," or whatever her name was, and Angelina, hey,
Not
it's me."
enough wood,
And
my
at first she
lord.
didn't believe him, but then he said some identifiable information, or basically proved that it was him.
Made the case unique.
We are
is that
almost
Narcisse
out
had
of
been
food,
pronounced
sire.
dead
Yeah.
in the Schweitzer
Camels!
hospital. And his death was witnessed by physicians, both American trained, one an American. Their impeccable records.
Our food stocks are
describing
dwindling, my
Lions
liege.
are attacking, my
They
liege.
killed my
18 years
cows!
Later, this man claiming to be declared responsible.
Okay, wait. I have a better idea. Not cows.
Village, claiming that he made a zombie.
So there was like, quote, modern science involved. American
Not enough
doctor
wood, my
pronounced
lord.
him dead, American trained
Wood
doctor
needed.
pronounced him dead. But here he was, alive and not dead. And so...
Kill them. Why aren't you killing them? I have mercenaries.
Your popularity is falling.
Haiti, national meeting, practitioners, both whores they're called, and end up, come find out. The
Okay, you know
process
what?
of creating a zombie
gonna switch back to the
involves
other game.
at least a two-step psychoactive
Fields of Mystria.
substance process. And there's two different compounds.
I can't deal with that right now.
What had happened to Clairvius, he found himself declared dead, They had a funeral for him after. They buried him. He remembers he was alive in complete and utter paralysis. Alive, getting buried. He heard his family screaming and crying. He couldn't move. He couldn't speak. This substance gives you the appearance of being dead. Like, remember, I don't know if y'all remember reading Romeo and Juliet. Remember, like, they took nightshade or whatever, but it was like whatever it was actually just made it seem like one of them was passed away, then the other one, you know, it's a whole tragedy. It's like one of those things, like, makes it seem like you're not
done
alive.
with my
and
ramen.
then they buried him. And this, you know, substance, I think they got it out of a puffer fish or something. I don't really know.
To the sorcerer who mixes the potions, each ingredient serves a distinct purpose, with the human bones playing a role every bit as important as the psychoactive plants. But to Davis, 2 ingredients held the key to understanding the phenomenon of zombification. The pufferfish contains a chemical called tetrodotoxin, or TTX. If administered in the correct dose, the victim will find themselves trapped in a flaccid paralysis, perfectly mimicking the appearance of death.
But then after they bury you, they put the dirt, whatever, everybody goes home. Then, like, this gang, like, shows up and takes him out of the ground. And what was going on was his brother, he was in a fight with his brother. He didn't want to sell some land that he had. Clairvius didn't want to sell some land that he had. His brother got mad at him. You know, tale as old as time, the brothers are fighting over the land. Well, the Clairvius' brother basically had him set up by these, you know, zombifying, the people who could do the zombie makers. And he did. And so once they pulled him out of the ground, then they start giving him another round of drugs. This is part 2 of the drugs. And this is like a scopolamine type. It's called zombie cucumber on Haiti. That datura, they call it zombie cucumber. And so that one is kind of like the one where you, like, go to the ATM and, like, give someone all your bank account information. You don't know why you do it. It, like, makes you highly suggestible. We already made a video on that.
Scopolamine, which is basically like the worst roofie you can ever imagine, times a million. You're at the whim of suggestions like, hey, take me to your ATM. Hey, come with me to the hotel room, while you're completely conscious and articulate.
But that's kind of how I ventured into this world too. Like, I learned about all this stuff kind of like this contemporaneously. And so it's called zombie cucumber, the scopolamine. I mean, it's also, you put it on your ear when you go on the Carnival cruise. Again, I'm sure it's safe in a patch and by the doctors and all that. But it's just making me wonder, you know, it's like I'm always kind of thinking about what are all the different ways throughout history that people have endeavored to take away others' free will. And, you know, for reasons that they're saying they had a good reason, because these people would have been put to death otherwise. And, you know, that's for the philosophers to work out. But, yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know that. And I also am still wondering, maybe the recipe got loose from the lab. Because why do we have zombies chasing kids? Like, he's even going slow like a zombie. He jumped out from underneath the blanket like a ghost and started going like it was Halloween. Anyway, that's all I really have for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, Minnie. Bye.
We're prepping for Bravo-tacular at Car Bravo. Get great deals on our wide selection of certified used vehicles and used for ya.
Go. Fight.
Is that what this is? I'm sold.
Okay. Spicy.
Do not send any hate or honestly comments of any kind to anyone mentioned in this video on behalf of me or yourself. The purpose of this video is to give my commentary and opinion on matters of public concern. Thank you. Order, order, order. We have to talk about the Bonnie Blue documentary. Dare I say it was disgusting. It was disgusting. Disgusting! Okay, I've been working on my different UK accents. Let me know in the chat. Or the comments. Make sure you didn't get unsubscribed too. So Bonnie Blue, her real name is not Bonnie Blue. It's Tia something Dollinger or something. I don't know. She just got her name. Her real name came out because in tangent with this documentary, she recently went viral again. And no, not for the depraved Marina Abramovich petting zoo moment. That never was. No, not for that. This one was, she was trying to set a world record for having the most. I'm going to try to keep it PG out here. I'm trying to follow all the rules and be friendly to, you know, you're going to have to maybe fill in the blanks on your own. You have
The
to use
most
your
pickle.
Or whatever reasoning on this one, y'all, because I'm trying to keep it cute. All right, it's just disgusting. So
Uh-huh.
Bonnie Blue, she went viral because she wanted to set a world record. Now, this did go viral several months back. It was like beyond viral, actually, because it had transcended virality onto the real news all across the world. Okay, and she was doing this challenge. How many, you know, what's the world record? She was trying to have a challenge of 1,000 participants in this romp, if you will. Now, she was going to make the romp available for sale on OF, if you know. I guess, that was kind of the last I heard of it until more recently. And importantly, these 1,000 participants were supposedly supposed to be amateurs, which I talk about all the time on this channel how they call anything. I'm going to flag at least a few of the non-exhaustive examples of this as we go through. So these amateurs are like basically dudes off the street, okay? And then there's been another content creator of the same ilk. This is the world we live in. These are content creators. What I do is considered to be a content creator. I do not consent personally. It's one of the reasons I gotta use my little platform right here to tell y'all what has happened.
Outside.
Okay, what has transpired. And so this was supposed to be a little stunt. It was supposed to take all day. And then Bonnie, she was basically going to put this footage on her OF. Okay. Before she could do that, or right as she did that, the video gets taken down. People advertise a Visa, the payment processors and things, different things. People are threatening, to stop working with the whole website, the whole platform of OF because of what Bonnie Blue is doing. One thing leads to the next. And for some reason, a documentary was then made and put on a news channel that was started by the British government. She got kicked off OF. Maybe this footage never had to be seen. Maybe we never had to talk about it again. The British started. And I want to be very careful not to say funded, because apparently it's publicly funded, but it's like, who funded this? I can tell you who did approve it. Who approved it had to have been, according to the AI overview on Google. Channel 4 was created by the British government and is overseen by a board appointed by the Department for Digital, Culture, Media, and Sport. The department meaning like a government department. So this is like the board oversees the Channel 4. That's who put this it was too rough for only it was too gross for them. They said, no, Visa's going to pull out. No pun intended. Oh. So they unleashed this documentary on the world stage. Well, I shouldn't say the world stage, because it's actually pretty difficult to watch this documentary. You got to have like a VPN or something, because it's really only supposed to be for Channel 4. It's only supposed to be for the people in the UK. But girl, I saw it. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I saw. At least what I thought was important and what I could remember from the trauma of even having watched the thing. It was just so deplorable. We're told early on in this so-called documentary that the goal for it was to get more subscribers on the platform. And then they do this kind of like, I don't know if it's like a sob story type of thing or what, I'm supposed to feel bad for her or something. I really don't exactly know. But it's like, it's so hard to compete out here in these OnlyFans streets. You always gonna have to do something more extreme, more whatever. I don't, I'm obviously paraphrasing, but they're focusing a good bit on like, the why of it all is like, you can't advertise your S-work services, so you have to do it the way that you can. Girl, I don't know. Okay. But they literally said it. A lot of times people often are accused, sometimes wrongfully even in a federal court, of doing stuff for clicks and likes, and they will do anything for a click and a like. Even if it means lying, selling your soul, selling your whatever. But then sometimes people are like actually admitting that, and that's true. When people say that about me, it's like, yeah, right. There's like, I've said it before. If I really wanted to just make money, I would do what this girl does. I would do some extreme, I don't want to make money that bad. I don't want to make £1 million a month. Actually, if it takes that, personally, I don't. But she's like, yeah, we want to get more clicks, more like. We need more people on the platform. Clicking on my page. They say that. The team says that. Put a pin in the team. We're going to get to them. Anyway, in this documentary, there were entirely uncensored group activities. Okay, entirely uncensored. Now, it wasn't like for like long minutes at a time or nothing. It was like, clips for moments, but it was like, whoa, this is just out unleashed on the whole UK. OF tried to say, no, you can't do this. It was unleashed in this documentary. I had to sit in my living room and watch it. It was so nasty. It was so disgusting. It was so depraved and so deplorable that there was a lot of backlash. From any and every side of the issue, people that normally don't agree on stuff agreed this was too much. Somebody brought their mom or their mom showed up to get him out of the line. But it's like, I don't even know if that's even true. Like, it just seems like all just stunts. Like, and if it is true, oh my God, like this is where we are in the UK. This girl from Northamptonshire or whatever And I could see it being a stunt. But that is the thing that you will, I mean, I don't know, maybe you won't. Like, I think when we walk away from the video, I think what y'all might feel is just confused as to, like, what's the like, she says stuff that contradicts itself. We'll get to it. But it's like, all of this almost legal, you know, it's actually, you know, they'll say the word barely, and then I'm going to put some words in the middle, and then they'll say legal. But apparently if you say those two things together, it gets automatically flagged for check or whatever, because it's like, that is unequivocally, unmistakably, and not arguably a category of adult materials that's almost legal. And she'll, you know, she's in the past had these stunts about, like, allegations of grooming have popped up, like, you know, if you just turned 18, me and my friend are gonna blah blah blah, a bunch of 18-year-olds on the college campus. And it's like, I could see why. We'll get to all that anyway. Before we get into the main event, I do want to just run through the team real quick. First of all, we cannot get a moment farther without talking about the mom. Because a lot of your question might be, well, what's this girl's mama must be proud? She apparently is, and goes on interviews and says she is.
We've had nice holidays and nice gifts, but that doesn't bother me. She's happy, so I'm happy because she's happy.
And famously, I think it was even Dr. Grande even did. He has even a clip. He made a video about this too. Actually, it's how I found out about it. Shout out to him. So she says something like, if you could earn, if you could earn £1 million in a month, I guess that's like $1 million, I don't know, maybe more than that, you'd get your bits out too.
When I think about how I divide my time, it's very carefully. I'm Alex Diaz. I'm a professional marketer in Seattle. Thinking about communication can be exhausting. Sometimes you find yourself hitting a wall. And I love AI Compose because you...
No. Actually, why? You know what the elephant in the room for me is? Where's her bits? Since it's so lucrative, why she ain't got her bits out? Bonnie Blue's mom takes $2,000. She could make £1 million a month doing that. Why she ain't? She said, you'd lose all your morals. You'd lose all your morals. Take you out the window. That's not true. That's not true.
I'm so fucking
confused. A lot of people a lot
confused.
prettier than Bonnie Blue, for as far as this is concerned. She was a beautiful girl until she whatever she did. I think it was when she allowed the demon to possess her. Now she looks kind of like a Jekyll Hyde demon clown. And it's grotesque what this woman has done. However, it is important to me that we start with the team. We start with the mom. Everybody's on payroll. Everybody's on payroll. The mom too.
Yep.
My mum said every time I come in this house, it's just everywhere. It was funny because New Year's Eve, they had my family came over, and I was in the living room filming, and they all had to be really, really quiet. And they were just like, when can we put the music on, or when can we start moving? And I was in the next room by myself, and they're just waiting in silence next door.
And so the mom's like encouraging it, and she's proud of it. The dad, unsurprisingly, not seen anywhere in the picture, unsurprisingly. However, we're told, allegedly, he's proud of her too.
What does your dad say about it? Honestly, he loves it. Like, obviously he doesn't sit watching the videos, but like all my social media, my TikToks, he'll have a look at, and he's just proud seeing how happy I am, how much I've been able to support
Liar.
my family. It's like, it's really changed my life and my family's life. I've got these stamps, and it says like, I slept with Bonnie Blue, I want to see with Bonnie Blue and stuff. And like, I was practicing them on my dad, and my dad was like, I need to go to the pool after this. And he's like, stamped all up his arm to say he slept with his daughter.
He didn't bother appearing in the documentary, for the record. Then there's her husband. We're introduced to the man as her husband, Bonnie's husband. And the documentary goes, like, half the documentary goes by. Before, I don't know how much exactly, but like a lot of it goes by before it's like this guy just pops on the screen and it's like, Bonnie's husband. And it's like, what? When are you gonna get to that? She's a husband? But then when you read about Bonnie Blue anywhere else in the world, it's like her ex-husband. But he's on the payroll too, apparently. He's been very supportive. Beyond supportive. And he's like doing an interview. He's like, well, it's not like I wanted to keep her out, but the money was good. And I'm like, what in the Adam Grant Mason hell? You get out there and do round 2 with Jason Love because we got bills to pay. Baby girl. There's this guy Josh. He's like a right-hand guy or whatever. He's like, we are on track to break the world record. Who is we? And that starts to bring back into focus, you know. At any time that one of these adult stars wants to say no to something that so much money and time is gone into, who pays for it if they say no? Who's out of a job? Who's out of a gig? Who's out of a this? Who's out of a that? All these people that traveled. It's perverse incentives and interests conflicting, in my opinion. Now, to hear her tell it, though, y'all, we'll let you know. To hear her tell it, everything's all fine and good. She loves it. Okay, so.
It was like Christmas Day on repeat for me. I loved it.
That's what she said. The event occurs, or whatever, and Josh assures everybody, this Josh guy, assures everybody that Bonnie has no trauma. There's no trauma from the 1057. And I'm not going to even describe the event. I mean, use your imagination or don't, actually, but it was nasty. It's just nasty. Like, anybody that I've seen reacting to it and talking about it is like, it's just so grotesque. I mean, there was huge backlash to this whole
All I can think of is
so
the
in the
friction
meantime,
burn.
Bonnie, who had no trauma from this event, according to this Josh, creative director, he's the creative director. And then the castle, they do it in like this castle. It's like, okay, what in Andre Gide, middle of nowhere, Black Forest hell, and it's got all the beautiful gold frames and things, and it's like, no, it's just disgusting. Like, no matter how many times she's like, I love it, and this is, I love it, it's like, I don't believe it. I can't believe it. There's no way. And if she does, something's seriously wrong with her. But I truly believe it's the demon speaking. After that, you know, the event occurs, social media erupts, but this documentarian, she lost track of Bonnie. You remember with the Lily Phillips documentary, the guy with the, I forget his channel name, well, you know, whoever it is. Lily Phillips already did a documentary. You know, there was one like that, and it was very famous. I think the most famous part, infamous, was whenever the aftermath of the event, where there was just rubbish on the floor, the cameraman was gagging because of the smell, and in it, Lily cried and said it's not for the weak girls.
It's not for the weak girls, if I'm honest. It was hard. Sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, you know, like, it's not like normal sex at all.
Well, after Bonnie, you know, to hear her say it, she loved it and nothing was wrong with her.
I loved it.
But then once the documentarian caught back up with her, tracked her back down after about 10 days, Bonnie apparently has been sick with the flu for 5 to 6 days, and she says the worst flu she ever had in her life.
5, 6 days I've been like bedbound with flu.
I don't think I ever had the flu in my life, maybe once. People just getting flu all the time. Oh, and at one point she was doing a snow angel on the aftermath. So like in stark contrast to the Lily Phillips crying and saying it's not for the weak girls. In stark contrast, Bonnie Blue laid on the ground, unclothed, or scantily clothed, I think it was no clothes, and was doing a snow angel and said, oh, I've been wanting to do this all day. So I put on here, yeah, she's been sick with the flu 5 or 6 days, worst flu of her life. I said flashback to Snow Angel. So she was uncharacteristically silent. You know, you would think she would be using this time to promote or whatever. Well, she couldn't do interviews. She was too sick to do interviews. The publicist ends up planting a story in the UK Sun about the mom who comes get the son out of the line. So it's like they show you on the documentary that they put that story out, and the reason was because they wanted to hype up the event, and Bonnie couldn't do interviews. So she ends up getting not only that video removed from OF, but then she also ends up getting kicked off completely. Like, you can't even be on the platform anymore. So then that makes her content get even more extreme. So then she does a series of stunts following this because she's spiraling because she doesn't have her OF anymore. So she ends up doing an 8-hour long bang bang, okay, but you know, change out the first letter, on OnlyFans with all OF creators. She said that one was the hardest one. That was way harder than the 1,000 Men. It was grueling. Basically, Bonnie just got beat up for a few hours. Remember this guy, Josh? All of a sudden, even though he was the one that was like, okay, she wasn't traumatized by the 1,000 guys. He's looking at her here. He's like, she basically just got beat up for like 8 hours. And you know, it's like all these creators and Bonnie in the cab here, and or the car, wherever, cab car, whatever, and she's like talking about it, and she's like, yeah, no, that one was like more difficult. It was way more difficult than 1,000 because it was all these guys trying to compete with each other. They all had, you know, they're in this so-called industry. They're trying to prove a point. They also have, you know, subscription things. I don't know. Okay, so she doesn't look good. I mean, she looks like that one really got her. And still, she was like, you know, whatever. She said this is what she wants. She wants to be pushed to her limits. She wants to know how far she can go before it stops. She was stopped and asked herself many times, am I still okay? Am I still whatever? And
it's like people that are addicted to
going. But this, I
plastic surgery.
Like, this is where it starts to look like the people who were previously really down with it and even like, oh, she's not traumatized, are starting to look like have faces like this. Like, So then there's like a series of other stunts, and some of these might be the same ones on top of each other, and maybe it was like publicity stunt on top of S stunt or whatever, but this is how I, remembered it. There's another stunt after that 8-hour long one where she said it was harder, and like that's where I started to feel like it's starting to take an extreme turn. And this time, it has to do with this younger so-called creator. We will call her Julia. Now, I know exactly nothing about Julia. I don't know anything about the content she creates. I don't know where she came from. I don't know how old she is. Nothing about her. Other than what I'm going to show you that and what I saw in this so-called documentary. But this person looks like she can't be older than about 25, and she might be like 18. Okay, so somewhere in that age. I don't know. Maybe we could look it up. She never really watched pornographic content. Okay, this girl. She never watched it. That's what she said. Maybe that's not true. Now, why is she agreeing to do this? That's a great question. I don't really want to get into it, okay? So this is a quote, around 40 to 41 minutes of documentary quote. She's never really watched, let alone been involved in it. And this is where, like, my sympathy for Bonnie, Blue, Tia starts to kind of shrivel. Because it's like, obviously her parents are nut jobs. Something is seriously satanically wrong with them. And so, clearly they think this is totally fine way to, like, support the whole family. Everybody's in on it. Even the ex-husband, still husband, I don't know. The mom, the dad. But now she's taking people who don't even watch this stuff and making them get involved in it. And she does this. I don't know which clip it is. Is it this one? It looks uncomfortable. Bonnie don't even... Usually Bonnie's putting on a good show. Usually Bonnie, like, Bonnie doesn't look excited. She actually looks nervous. Maybe the dose had kicked in. So she ends up, like, in a group setting of S acts. I don't know if this girl was just there watching it. I don't know if she was doing anything. I'm not going to look it up, and I don't want to know. So, like, the purpose of this video is not to inform you on the details of that. I'm just looking at what I can see on publicly available stuff where I don't have to look at anything that's behind a paywall. Okay. Here's a picture, though, of her face that I took from the documentary. This is from the documentary, okay? Channel 4 documentary that aired in the UK. This girl, look at her. She's clearly distraught. And not only do we have her body language to read, Bonnie said it was her goal. She said she wanted to traumatize and scar this girl, who has, again, I repeat, never even really watched pornography.
I want you to be scarred from it. I'm going to have like therapy on speed. I want you traumatized.
Which, again, she could be, that could be all part of the fantasy. But isn't that freaking sick? Part of the fantasy is that you're really scarring and traumatizing a young, innocent person. Girl, boy, anything, anybody. That is sick. And in this documentary, we're going to talk about a little scene later. One of these actresses, so-called actresses, they do admit it. They admit it and they say, yeah, I do think it is that I look so young. That's what they're into. That's why they like it. Anyway, this poor girl, Julia, she even went on one of those degenerate podcasts and says that she regrets participating in this disgusting scene. And she actually even apologized to the public and to her fans. She said she's scarred. She says, I'm scarred and I'm traumatized. Like, she's like, oh, I don't, and this is a public link. Okay, this is public. None of this is OF material content. We need to put a scrolling disclaimer.
And I do regret it. I'm so traumatized. I was freaking out. Like, if you do see a clip, I'm actually like this the whole time. Like,
anyway, so there's one final disgusting stunt, okay? And it's the last one that I needed to see to know everything I need to know, okay? It's disgusting. And this one was what I was like, okay, I have to tell the people. I have to use my little platform. Maybe none of y'all care, okay? But I'll be damned if I saw this canary in the coal mine and I didn't say something. Something's really seriously wrong. And there's been a lot of people trying to sound the alarm for a long time. But this really, honestly, thank you, Channel 4. Truly, actually, now that I'm here, I didn't plan to say this, but truly thank you. In a way, Channel 4, maybe you didn't need to really put out all the naked, live S acts, and you could have blurred some things, I think. However, they really did show and document exactly the pipeline. Exactly which types of people can lure these young people. It isn't just young girls too. They're young boys. Young boys. They don't even have facial hair. These young boys in this so-called degenerate scene. So in this last stunt, Bonnie, again, coming off of that 8-hour-long grueling session where she basically just got beat for 8 hours, I guess she doesn't want to do that kind of thing anymore. She wants to go back to amateurs. So now she's got some amateurs who are actually OnlyFans creators. You know how hard it is to become one of those? You sign up for a freaking account and have some type of ID. So they're OF creators, they're amateurs. Most of them have never done anything even close to this ever. In this supposed scene, not only are these people, you know, first-timers and amateurs, they all look very young. Most of them are actually very young. And they all dressed up like school children. And they're in a classroom. And Bonnie is at the front of the classroom. That's going to be the scene. Now, this one, thankfully, I gotta say, at least the version of the documentary that I watched did not have any scenes from this shoot. That's what they're calling it now. But it was troubling and unsettling, truly. I mean, I've honestly tried to put it in the back of my mind, like where I'm not even thinking about it because it's sick. There's like a lot of reading between the lines here because thankfully, and I think that was tasteful, they did not put any scenes, any still shots or anything from once the act started. But you could hear they did sounds like outside, and it's there in a schoolhouse. It's a schoolhouse, a schoolroom, and the Brigitte Macron cosplayer is up at the front. And I keep saying the sick thing. The whole thing's sick. But another sick thing, Bonnie Blue is sitting, explaining. She's like the executive producer, I guess. She's sitting with her legs spread eagle on a desk, explaining how it's going to go. And she's using like the most vulgar language. And then it shoots to these children. You know, one of them said she was 21, so I guess that's an adult. But God, they look so young. They look young. They know they look young. And they're sitting in a desk, in these little desks, like little school desks. Oh, it's sick. And there's this big muscled up guy, and he's like a porn star actor, and he's gonna be, I guess, doing stuff with these adults. I shouldn't say children, like, you know, I'm not alleging anyone was under age. In fact, I want to say they claim on the documentary everyone's IDs were checked. And they said it on camera, and the people on camera confirmed they're all over 18. So I'm not saying that they're children in the fact of like something, you know, illegal.
They visually
like,
appear youthful, is what she means.
And that's something we got to kind of come to reckon with as a whole full society. P. Diddy, I believe, largely didn't get held to account for a lot of what he really did do wrong because we have normalized this. It's not illegal, it's legal. If everybody's 18.01 second, what about Lil Tay, who's been obviously groomed into degeneracy since she's 9, since she's before 9, because when she came on the scene at 9 years old, she was already degenerate behavior. And I feel bad for her as a human, as a person. Down in her heart, that's a pure soul somewhere. 18 years old in 1 second, and she started taking customs on OF. Because why? Because people like Bonnie Blue, Lily Phillips, they come out and tell you they're making £1 million a month, and their parents are proud. It must not be nothing wrong with it. I'm here to tell you there's something wrong with it. And it's so wrong that it will eat at you and your soul till there's nothing left of you but a White Walker corpse. I still do feel bad for the Bonnie Blue. I do. Because it's like, with parents like that, you gotta wonder what they told her right from wrong was what. Some people don't need to be told what's right from wrong. They know. Maybe Bonnie Blue don't. Maybe she didn't. And she's been surrounded now by degenerates who are giving her awards at the Corn Awards. Awards for this. So she has this group, quote, shoot, with these young girls dressed as students. And guess what, too? These girls got paid to shoot. No money. You know what their payment was? It was a collaboration. It was going to be the exposure.
Appearing in their socials with Bonnie is payment enough.
And then it just gradually builds up until it's like an orgy. No, I'm not being paid today. It'd just be I get tagged, and then hopefully I get followers and subs from that, and then it'll roll onto my page.
The payment and the punishment is the same thing. And the thing is, too, like, I think all of us know that one person from the hometown that got caught up in something, maybe consenting, maybe didn't, and there was a tape, there was a video, and it was like, oh, she did a corn. Like, you those people never, ever, ever, ever got to live that down. Now, think about it on this scale. Bonnie Blue is probably doing the right thing for her survival to act like and to like be so separated from reality, because what's gonna happen the first moment she decides she really don't want to do this no more? Who's gonna marry Bonnie Blue? Some sick that's into this stuff? No. That's a marriage like Adam and Lena have. They interview these young adults off to the side, the group scene, and they like, one of them's like basically crying. Beautiful, precious, little angel face. Now, some of them are like, oh, I'm just watching. I'm just going to watch in the scene. And big dude in the front, who's going to be watching? Who's going to be? And it's the same guy that's going to be, I think, in the scene. I didn't watch it. Obviously, I did not watch it. So I don't know if he is in it, but he's like kind of like contemplating, going back and forth. He's like, well, I mean, they say it's definitely not my comfort zone or whatever, out of my normal zone. They say they're all on OnlyFans creators, and they're all 18, so.
Pushing the boundaries a little bit for me. It's a bit out of my comfort zone. Well, I'm here for it. Everybody's operating. I've checked all their IDs and stuff, and everybody's content creators, so.
And it's like, it sucked because it was like, for a moment, that spark of that right thing was roaring in that man. He knew it was something wrong with it. I guess he followed through and did it anyway. Then you have Bonnie herself sitting spread eagle on the desk explaining to the kids, with the young adults, with the vulgar terminology. And then they interview these young adults one by one. And one of them's like, all of them that they interviewed never had done this before on camera with like a S act on camera. Some of them had, but it was just their self with a so-called alleged toy. Some of them were like undecided if they were just gonna watch. Just come in and just watch.
Say hello to your cheesiest craving yet.
Oh, snapped.
That's right, Cheez-It made it chick.
Oh, snapped. And then they get there and they're like, oh, well, Bonnie Blue is here and this could be a huge opportunity, so I might as well just do it. Oh, you're just watch? Okay. And then he's like, don't just say you're going to do it because you're in the room. You're like, you're allowed to say no. And it's like, what a freaking messed up situation. Like, technically, yeah. I mean, they're saying the right things and stuff. It's like, yeah, he's saying you're allowed to say no. Don't just say no. And that's true. And I think somewhere deep down, even in that guy, there's some spark of what, like, something's like, I need to make sure I tell them, but it's like, that's not enough. That's not enough. If anybody's asking my opinion, what needed to happen was that man, when he had that feeling of like, this isn't normally my thing, but like, they're all 18, they're all OF creators, what would have been, I believe, the right thing to do was to say, I'm out. But how can I judge him for that? Because I never had a whole set waiting on me to do something. Who knows how pressured he felt? Who's his boss? I don't know the whole economy, okay? But what I'm telling you, just looking at this public documentary for the UK, is something's wrong. These people were crying, like, basically. The interviewer's like, you seem nervous. And this precious little girl with her little bang, she's like, I am. One of them's talking about how she knows that the fans like her because she's so small and she looks underage. The thing that gets me is some of them didn't even know if they were going to do it. Like, that means to me they were maybe hesitant. The fact they never have done it before means they didn't want to do it before. They never did it before. So it's like Bonnie Blue just coming off of getting beat up for 8 hours by people in the industry. All because of what? Because she doesn't want to be bored at a 9-to-5 job? That's something wrong with her. Why does she do this? I mean, money is one answer. The entire family's on the payroll, like we talked about, especially after she started making money. This is kind of the Britney Spears syndrome, where the whole family is gathered around the table talking about what we're going to do. Who's the creative director? Creative director of an S act. Let's be clear. It's not Bonnie. It's Josh. The mom saying that anybody would show their bits for £1 million a month, meanwhile not showing her bits. Where's her bits? Bonnie prefers the amateurs. That's where it's really real, she says. It's not fake then. It's really real. She said in that freaking disgusting scene, the fact they're nervous is good for her. It's good for the scene. Because sex can be intimidating with a group dressed as school children in a classroom. With a woman who just had the flu for 10 days after doing it with 1,057 men. And this is where I really started to wonder whether those predator allegations were true. She only wants to do stuff with very young people or husbands. She wants to do husbands too. But she likes this barely legal. She's like, I like the look in someone's eyes whenever I'm fill in the blank first time. Taking their you know what. If a man was saying this, y'all, please. So when people are saying that she's the female Andrew Tate, I mean, it might be in more than one way, not just the shock marketing. And don't, like, the Andrew Tate thing is just right here on the perimeter of this story, too, because Creators Inc. and Ryan Powell are all in this. Bree Stern dated this guy, Ryan Powell, who has Plug Talk, or whatever it's called, Talk podcast. He's, like, did those parties at the mansions. Adam and Lena would be there, and he's all in with Creators Inc. Creators Inc. follows Bonnie Blue. Creators Inc. Bree Stern. Creators Inc. had all these fashion shows, and then Bonnie Blue, of course, the end of this documentary, did it, and she flew to Romania to do a podcast with Andrew Tate, and he dragged her for filth. Oh my God, he dragged her. But it's just so hard to fully ever, like, get on board with anything he says because he's just so hateful to women. She also just, I think, is a little mischievous devil clown just for other reasons. Like, she's, like, always trolling or a troll demon possessing the woman. She claims on one side of her mouth that she's good with people doing what works for them. What works for you, you do what works for you, and I'll do what works for me. That's fine. But then on the other side of her mouth, she teases and taunts people, saying the least you could do, women, the least you could do is XYZS act on your man. She says she likes it whenever the husbands show up in her line because it shows that she's doing something that the wives won't do. So that doesn't sound very, you do what you do, I do what I do to me. People will ask her, well, are you know, what do you think that the young example you're setting for the young girls and, you know, even women your age, but she said that what I'm doing, that's none of my business. They're not my responsibility. They're not my problem. But the unfortunate reality is they are. They are. And you can believe in, you know, gravity or not. You can believe that the wind blows or not. And you can believe in karma or not. But what you put out into the world does come back to you. And the Bonnie Blues and the Lily Phillipses, they are absolutely, because they are making international headlines, absolutely causing the normalization and the desensitization, at the very least, of some of the most depraved and deplorable things that a young woman can do, a young man can do. It is just humiliating, just secondhand embarrassment to look at these men, boy, who knows, lined up on the block with these blue disposable face masks because they don't want anybody to see them lining up as one of the 1,000 men. And what's her name? But she loves it.
I love that.
She likes to rage bait. She has the men wearing the wedding rings. She loved that. She said, if you're a wife, keep scrolling. When a girl says it's her, you know, time of the month, there's nothing wrong with her. It doesn't look like she has any plans to stop anytime soon. And I'm just like, okay, what do we have to do? What do we have to do to just like put a damper on this type of behavior? Because it really sets an example for like the culture, for the children. And you know, I would like to happily announce I've officially entered my full-on anti-era, where I'm like, what's wrong with the youths? What's wrong with the children of today? The issue is, I think this Bonnie Blue isn't that. She's old enough to know. She's old enough to now be the one that's pulling in the groom. She's the one that's grooming now, I think, in my opinion. Innocent until proven guilty, you know, I don't know. But, yeah, that happened, and it was grotesque. It was detestable, and I rebuke. I do not consent, and I rebuke. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Neither are opinions. I rebuke. Love you, mean it, okay, bye.
We went up.
Yo! I'm in New York! For my bachelorette! Vanessa, are you naked?
Hang on.
Oh, this is not very holy.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Am I the Devil? Where I'm the devil.
And I'm the angel.
Am I the a-hole for telling my wife I feel sorry she's lacking in intelligence after she weaponized a suggestion I made to her about spending?
Lacking intelligence? Huh? Oh my god.
My wife goes to a coffee house 2 to 3 times a week. She works from home and goes there frequently. We share a joint account and both have credit cards and the app. She discovered this coffee shop a month ago and gets at least 2 to 3 drinks, plus maybe a donut or a muffin every time.
That's a lot of money. That adds up.
Yeah, it does add up. If that's how she wants to spend her money, then she has a right to do that. If that's the only thing that she spends her money on, then I don't know if it's that big of a deal.
Okay, remember that when I go get a coffee, okay?
You get coffee regardless. Like, it's what you like doing. This has really increased some discretionary spending. I'm talking $9 lattes and $6 muffins, so it's significant. I approached my wife and asked her if she could mind cutting down those expenses a little bit. Or maybe if she feels like she has to buy something every time she goes, why doesn't she utilize the clubhouse in our apartment complex if she wants to go outside the house? We do well financially, but we don't like unnecessary spending. Okay. You sound a little controlling. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like a little controlling.
It's not like she's buying Chanel bags.
Yeah, no, she's just buying a cup of coffee and like she probably enjoys the experience of going out to a coffee shop and like spending the day there.
The same way, like I love our place, but I also like to go work somewhere else because I find it's just a mental break.
Totally.
You know, different juju.
Totally, I get it. She didn't take that well. And she powdered her face like a big baby and said, fine, she just won't do it anymore since I want her to lose her mind. This really annoys me. I say one thing and she takes it completely differently, making it impossible to have any kind of decent discussion with her. I actually agree with you, like this
fine, I'm not gonna do it anymore
attitude. It's like you're bringing something up that's like a suggestion, and like when people say like, why are you liking that girl's photos?
Fine, I'll just delete Instagram.
It's like, you know, it's kind of like an immature way of addressing the root issue.
But if she makes her own money, she can do whatever the hell she wants.
Yes, but that's different, right? Like if she makes her own money, then she has a right to spend it. She should have said that instead of, oh, I just won't go anymore, you know? This time, I didn't hold myself back from wanting to tell her something similar in energy and tone and said,
oh, I didn't realize you were either trying to punish me or are genuinely lacking in intelligence at what I said. I feel sorry for you.
I feel like sugarcoating this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just the way he's talking about her. He's just so high and mighty, you know? We have to be smart with our spending.
You didn't need to go there, and like, I don't feel like you're right, you know? Some people enjoy the pleasures in life, and like, I understand that you're frugal, but at the same time, life is meant to be lived, and you say that you do well financially, and this is one thing that she enjoys doing. Like, I don't see you complaining about her having a shopping habit or like spending money on needless things. Like, often it's just she likes to sit and have some coffee and get a couple drinks and a muffin. It just doesn't really sound like they're in a bad spot with money. And like, I can understand wanting to like decrease spending if you're in a bad spot, but like, if you're doing well, then who are you to tell her how she should spend money that she earns? I don't think that's fair.
Not very holy.
Of course, this annoyed her, and she asked me to say that again, and if I meant to make her feel that way. I said, you heard what I said, and if it landed that badly, then I'm okay with her sitting in it for now, because lately she's been turning every discussion into an argument, and I'm no longer softening myself around her. It kind of also sounds like you're turning a simple discussion into an argument, too.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to, like, get to that point. It can just be like, listen, you know that I don't like spending. I'd appreciate it if, you know, you packed a coffee or something, or
Sounds like he's infantilizing her a little bit.
she's your wife, not your child.
A
and,
boy,
like, she can spend her money how
and
she
he's
wants to.
white with a little black nose.
Hey, not about us.
Kuma, confirm.
Hey, listen,
That's your name,
when
buddy.
you told me you wanted to, I feel like this discussion about your coffee getting habits, it was just from you wanting to like save more. So if you've expressed that to me and I'm saying things like, think about how much money, like where's places that you could save? You could have your coffee at home. It's from like a place of like, you told me that you want to be able to save more. So I'm telling you some ways that you can do that.
If you buy a $1,000 coffee machine, you can make almost 3 coffees a day. And if you don't buy coffee for an entire year, you like pay it off essentially. You should just buy a nice coffee machine at home.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not about the coffee. It's about going
probably
to a
about
different
like,
environment.
yeah, and maybe she needs a little bit of space as well. And like, I'm sorry, if she's there all day, she does need to eat and drink. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
it seems like this is a little more of a necessity than anything. If she's there all day and she's not eating at home, then she needs to eat and drink something when she's out.
It sounds like you tell her to do a lot of things if she's giving this reaction to you. Maybe she was receptive at first and then she felt like you were babying her and then she started reacting that way and then you just reinforced her beliefs by infantilizing her.
Yeah, it sounds like there's definitely more arguments here. I personally think that she's not really going crazy. Like, she's just getting herself a couple cups of coffee and something to eat when she's working. And I think that's okay.
Don't be frugal. Let her have a strudel.
Yeah, come on. I think that what you said was rude, and I don't think it needed to get to that point. You telling her that she thinks that she's stupid, I think is the real issue here. Let's read what the comment says. This is why people should have their own personal accounts separate from joint accounts. You may think her spending is unnecessary, but she likely thinks it's no big deal because she works too.
I need more context about this. Is he predominant breadwinner? Are they both even?
I mean, he hasn't really shared that. He says that she works from home, so she is earning her own money. Also, how petty of you. Restricting spending to strictly necessary purchases sounds like an exceedingly Spartan way to live. You're the a-hole. He was like very picky and choosy about what he didn't really get into like the other fights that they were having or anything. And I'm curious to know what those other fights were about. And maybe that's partially why she doesn't want to like be at home around you much.
Working from home is tough. Hybrid, I think, is great. I used to love the journey of going to the office. You know, it was like, go to the office, you work, and then you come home, and then you like decompress,
Yeah.
whatever. Whereas like when you're at home, it's the same even with like auditioning. You're here, you're like in your underwear, and you're like, oh shoot, I got work in like 3 minutes. You put your pants on, and you're there.
Yeah.
And then you turn it off, and you're like, oh, I'm home already. It's a
Yeah.
weird thing. You want to get into the house.
You want to be able to like turn your brain onto like work mode. I have no problem doing that, but I also miss going to like an office because it meant like picking an outfit every day and
Yeah.
like doing your makeup and like, you know, you're out anyway, so maybe let's just like go for a walk.
Same.
You know? I think she has a right to do that.
Lots of people work at coffee shops.
Totally. You're the a-hole micromanaging your partner's discretionary spending on 2 to 3 coffee shop outings per week is controlling and inappropriate. Insulting her intelligence because she called you out for it while reluctantly agreeing to your request is immature and vindictive. It's time to separate your accounts and learn better communication skills. Yeah, this is why I kind of like, I also didn't like how she kind of immaturely kind of
said, well, I won't go anymore.
She also didn't need to respond like that. It also sounds like you guys don't really know how to communicate properly. I think better communication skills from both of you overall, but I definitely also think that you should apologize for calling her stupid. I personally think that people should have separate accounts. You know, it's like, if you buy me a gift, I don't want you to use the money from the joint account.
Why not?
It'd be nice if, you know, like you work towards something and were able to buy me something. And same for me.
I would buy you a cloud if I could.
I know.
You're my cloud.
Early congrats on your divorce. You're the a-hole. No one says things like this to their partners. It's okay to argue because life isn't perfect. But if you can't make it personal, it's either you change or something or get a divorce. If you really think your wife is stupid, why did you marry her? If you told her that just to hurt her, you are a big butthead.
I feel like there's just poor communication skills in this relationship.
Yeah, agreed. On both sides, but definitely with you. You shouldn't have called her stupid. I don't really think that she's stupid for wanting to like enjoy working for a day at a coffee shop a couple times a week.
Maybe you just need to let her do what makes her happy, like a little thing that makes her happy.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know context. Like
we don't have a lot of context. And interestingly, a lot of the times where people kind of know they're in the wrong, they don't share a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
They sugarcoat it. It's kind of like when a friend like tells you something that's wrong and they sort of like twist it to make it seem they're right in the scenario. That happens a lot with posts like this.
Also, like what we don't know, because again, I am the heavens advocate. I'm wondering, like, what if they're like maybe trying for a baby soon and they're like trying to watch their spending because they know it's going to be expensive.
But that wasn't shared though. Like I said, if you're in a position where you need to be saving and you've shared that with your partner and they keep needlessly spending on things, then it might be a good time to bring it up. Not call them stupid, but bring up, okay, well, let's look at the budget. Let's look how much you spend on this, this, and this. Like maybe you could cut down on Uber Eats because that's really expensive. Maybe you don't need to buy that fourth t-shirt in a different color, you know?
I don't have a problem with the confrontation. I have a problem with how he confronted her.
Totally. Agreed. I think it was really unnecessary, and you should apologize to your wife. Like, devil or angel, I feel like he's kind of a jerk. Like, I wouldn't go so far as to say, like, you're a criminal and, like, a really terrible person, but you're kind of a jerk, and you have been a jerk in this scenario.
I'd like to think that I could save you. I'd like to take you on my side because I feel like with better communication, you could express, you want to have good spending habits, okay? And that's why I kind of want him. I think maybe he's a purgatory because of how he handled the situation. I also don't like her reaction, and I just like the dynamics kind of messed up. I think, you know what I think? I'd like to have you both up to my cloud for a day for a little couples therapy. And I think that maybe we could just talk it out a little bit, you know? Because if you keep talking to your wife like this, it's not going to end well.
Down here with me. I agree with you. I feel like there's room for improvement, and I think if you apologize and you develop better communication skills, you might not get divorced. But unless you do that, I'm sorry, but you're going to be down here with me.
Because maybe she reacts that way because you talk to her that way.
Totally.
And this is like this negative feedback loop where you like, she's like, and you're like, well, you're reacting like that.
Would I be the a-hole for uninviting my friend from my wedding?
Ooh, we got some wedding drama.
Hi, it's Gabby, and come into my closet and get ready with me today. I'm going to be shooting a podcast.
My friend and I have known each other for about a year, and we got instantly close when we met. And we hang out a lot and really skip past all the small talk, and we talk about the deepest things with each other. She is a compassionate and very positive person too. However, I'm an expat, and a lot of her friends are local, so because of the language, I don't hang out with them as a group. But she and I do separately, so I don't know her other friends that well. Her fiance and my fiance know each other from work. My fiance and I have our wedding this month, and they have their wedding in a year. They are invited to our wedding, and we to theirs. She spent a long time looking for a dress for my theme for my wedding, and even showed me photos and went to a lot of trouble getting the dress and was so happy and made sure it fit my theme. She asks me how the planning is going all the time and shares their plan for that weekend to attend as well. Sounds great so far. I'm curious as to why you want to uninvite her. So yesterday, her fiance asked my fiance for lunch. Turns out her best friend has planned a bachelorette party for her the same weekend as our wedding. They are doing their civil wedding this year, so this is why it's earlier. And it's a surprise. So he was basically informing us that he will come, but she will not be coming. Of course, she does not know, but since we hang out, her fiance asked my fiance not to tell me until I have no more hangouts with her before the wedding, so as not to make it awkward. He asked my soon-to-be husband to lie to me, which I think is very strange and rude. Okay. My fiance was so mad at this, and of course, he told me straight away. He asked our fiance why he would say to her friends this weekend was available, and turns out this weekend was the best fit out of all our options, whatever that means. I think he messed up the planning for the weekends and is now using us to get out of the mess he made. But how will she feel when she's told all this the night before? And how am I supposed to act with her when we hang out when I know this whole thing? I won't lie to her that I have no idea and talk about how excited we are for the wedding day.
It's a weird situation to be in.
Yeah,
I don't think you should be mad at her.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think that you should be mad at her. She has literally no idea this is happening. My fiance will call him this evening and uninvite both of them and tell him he has told me they are not coming, but not the reason, as he doesn't want us to get involved in these lies for her fiance to get out of a situation. Since this is not a random plan, this is a wedding. He can't lie to me for weeks about this. When I see her and she mentions
I need to go
the
buy a
wedding,
different colored girl brown
that they
cow
both can't make it.
and
And then her
sell
fiance can figure out a different
the
lie to
big
get out of
black
this.
girl
Am I the
brown
a-hole for
cow.
uninviting them both in this situation?
It makes sense.
As far as I understand, the husband was part of the bachelorette planning for
Right.
his wife.
Right.
I guess their wedding was in the calendar for a long time, but then the friends chose weekend even though it wasn't available.
Right.
Because it was the best fit.
Yeah.
And now he's saying that he's going to come, but she can't. But she doesn't know that yet. She won't know until the night before.
Right. I feel like your friend is going to be pissed off. Like, she went to all this trouble to get a dress for your wedding, and now she can't even go. I'd be mad.
I'd be mad too.
Yeah, I'd be mad. I understand that he's trying to do something nice, but like, I feel like she won't be happy with this scenario.
Not at all.
She'll probably be upset, quite frankly, that you uninvited her, and I don't think that you need to like do that. Maybe she won't even want to go through with it if that's the case. Maybe she's just gonna be like, no, like I already made plans. This is not good timing for me.
They're like good friends, I guess. They've known each other for a year. I feel like there'd be a level of understanding as well.
Yeah,
Like, why are
totally.
you being so defensive and like upset about it? We have friends who like couldn't make it.
Yeah, totally.
For other reasons or whatever.
I know, for sure.
You can be upset, but like to hold a grudge and uninvite them.
It's kind of petty and silly.
I'm trying to find some holiness, but I think like I want you to take these sons of.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of weird about this. It sounds like you're getting mad preemptively before someone has even done something to you. Like, you have a right to be mad at her fiance.
But she's innocent in all
But
this.
yeah, she's innocent. You don't need to uninvite her.
And now what? Like now you have to play along with this lie.
Yeah, pretty much. You would be the a-hole if you uninvited your friend who seems to have nothing to do with
Yeah.
the arrangement of the bachelorette party.
No kidding, man.
Yeah, literally. What the You want to uninvite your friend because her plus one asked you to keep a secret about a surprise party for her? A party arranged by an uninvolved third party? Wow, you're the a-hole. Info, what would be the point of uninviting her? To totally sever the friendship you have? She hasn't done anything wrong. Your wedding isn't the center of everyone's universe. I totally agree. Like, you're kind of just being petty. I agree. Like, you can be kind of upset about these arrangements and your friend can't make it. She has no idea that she can't make it to your wedding. I feel like you're being very petty and silly and not in a good way.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You're the a-hole. She did nothing wrong, and this possible timing conflict hasn't even happened yet. So why are you punishing her? The right thing to do would be to tell her fiance to tell her, then tell her yourself so she has time to figure it out.
As far as I understand, it's a month from the wedding.
It's a month from the wedding. It's also important to repeat that they have a year. This bachelorette doesn't need to take place the day that her friend's wedding is taking place.
Especially because they've been like planning it.
Totally.
Yeah, like that's stupid. And honestly, like if I were the girl,
I'd be mad.
I'd be like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, totally. You haven't even given her a chance to like find out and want to be at your wedding. Her fiance is a jerk for planning an event when he knew that he was supposed to be at your wedding, and you can be mad at him, but your friend, no.
No.
You don't have a right to be mad at her.
Basta. Enough.
Okay, so I think you're an a-hole, honestly, so you might as well just come down here and have a s'more.
You're not coming anywhere near me. Okay?
No, you're the s'more.
Not a bad person.
It's kind of being a jerk right now.
She's being a jerk. It's not her fault. It's the fiance's fault. In fact, invite her and not him.
Yeah, there you go.
There's compromise.
Am I the a-hole for gambling half of my kids' college fund and winning?
This is interesting. This is complicated.
Ooh, this is spicy. Okay, I know this sounds horrible, but hear me out. About a week ago, a group of friends and I took a trip to Vegas. The casinos have just opened up recently. My friends and I have always enjoyed a little bit of gambling, so we decided to check a casino out. I usually have a specific fund dedicated to gambling, so I don't use any of our savings, but most of that fund ended up being put toward rent during quarantine, since my girlfriend got laid off of work. Now here's what I think I maybe... It had been over a year since I had gambled last, and I really wanted to gamble.
Like really, real bad.
I want to gamble real bad.
I
want to gamble real bad.
Any other gamblers out there reading this post will get it.
Will they?
I didn't want to take away from the house fund or from our grocery fund, so I decided to take money from my kids' college funds. One of them is 14 and the other is 11, so there was still plenty of time to get the money back before they go off to college. And I ended up winning. I kept all the money that I gambled, and I ended up making a profit, about a quarter of the fund. Okay, so what are you doing with that money? Are you gonna put that back in the college fund, or are you... Is that
You better, bud.
You better. I called my girlfriend and excitedly told her the news, but she asked where I had gotten the original money from. I told her, and she freaked out. She screamed at me and told me she was going to tell the kids how immature I was and hung up on me. I mean, yeah, like, what if you lost? I know that it was a little bit irresponsible, but I don't see the issue. If I had lost the money, it might be a different story, but I won. I mean, the chances of you winning are so slim. The fact that you were willing to, like, lose it, all that money for your kids, yeah. So is it also not just your money? Is that also your wife's money that she put toward your college kids' funds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, just because you did it now, like, maybe when they're 15, you try it again, because they'll have, like, we have, like, 3-4 years.
Yeah, for sure. No. My kids have even more money put into their college fund. Okay, so at least you gave it back to them. And I got to gamble like I wanted to.
Oh my god, this guy might have a gambling.
Yeah, I feel like you got a bit of an issue there, bud. In a scenario where you have a little bit of like an addiction to something, if the addiction starts to affect people around you and your life negatively, that means you have a problem. Just because you won this time doesn't mean that it couldn't have gone very horribly wrong. You were not very responsible, quite honestly.
If it went wrong, like, what the heck were you gonna do?
Yeah, totally.
What were you gonna do?
Yeah, what were you gonna do?
I can't just come down from the clouds and bestow you with a full bank account. You'd have to figure it out yourself. Very unholy.
Very unholy of you. It's been 3 days since that conversation and she hasn't responded to any of my calls. I'm getting sick of reaching out to her when I don't think I did anything wrong. I mean, that's the issue here.
Yeah, this guy, yeah.
You're not taking any accountability for something that you almost really messed up, and you not realizing it is part of the problem. Do I even have anything to apologize for? Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Edit, I don't think you guys get it. I only gambled about $30,000. And now me and my family are all better off because of it. Don't you guys understand that I won? I accept my judgment, but I disagree. But the chances of you winning are so slim. The chances of you losing are so high. And you were willing to take that chance because you have a problem.
It just stresses me out. Like, what if it went south? What are you gonna tell your kids?
I hate gambling. It's just like you're literally just giving money to someone.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble.
You know, like,
It's a gamble. Gambling is such a gamble.
It's such a gamble. May the odds be never in your favor.
You're the a-hole. You could have lost. Your girlfriend is out of a job and you gambled badly needed money on a 1 in a million shot. You need to get on your knees and apologize. I know, right? Major, you're the a-hole. You never gamble more than you're willing to lose. Were you really willing to lose $30,000? That is a huge amount. I really could do with $30,000. Maybe I'll repay you with interest. Maybe not. Willing to risk it? The odds are better than they were at the casino.
Why don't you use your own money, buddy? Now your kids have to suffer because you lost it? I know you didn't.
You didn't, but you were willing to let your kids suffer.
Like I said already, like, if you did this once, you are very likely to do this again.
Totally,
because it went so
especially if
well.
there's no consequences. Like what she's doing right now is giving you consequences. Because if you do this again, because you won once, and you won't win again, by the way, the chances of you winning twice are like even smaller than winning once. The point is that like if you have no repercussions for your actions, you will think that this is okay to do again, and then you won't be so lucky.
I think that's a great line, that comment, which is gamble as much as you're willing to lose.
I agree. I think that because you're completely unaware of your...
If you're someone that struggles with acne, you're gonna love Just Enough because it's non-comedogenic and it does not
problem with gambling, and completely unaware that you need to take some serious accountability here. I think you're an a-hole.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're a stinky butt.
Things
You're
could
not
have
coming
gone
anywhere
very,
near
very
me.
wrong, and just because you were lucky this time does not mean that you didn't fuck up.
You could have jeopardized your kid's future, but you didn't. But you could have.
Am I the a-hole for just liking my coffee the way I like it? Like a little coffee theme for this video.
I like that. Like, how weird can it be?
I love how vague this title is. You know what that means. I live near a coffee shop that operates from a cart. They're a tiny shop with usually one person, but sometimes two. Their cart is on the property of a restaurant and is owned by the restaurant, but is slightly different. And I'm not a fan of the restaurant, but the cart coffee is honestly some of the best I've ever tasted. They run from around 8 to 3, but it usually suits me to come at around 2:50 to 3 o'clock. But occasionally,
So
much
Cinnamon
earlier.
and Daisy
Today I
can
came
breed, but
at 3 and saw
Pancake
the
is a
barista was still
butthole, so
serving,
we're gonna
so I
sell
hopped in
him.
the queue with a group of women following behind me. As she started steaming, the person in front of me's drink, she announced to the queue that they could order coffee from the restaurant because the cafe was no longer serving past 3. Bear in mind, it's 3:01-ish, and I had probably been in the queue right after 3, if not a few seconds before. Let me preface this by saying that the restaurant coffee is just not as good. They say it's the same, but it's made by the waitstaff, not baristas, and it isn't what I'm there for. I'm also very health conscious and was mindful of going into a restaurant. The woman behind me must not mind because they went into the restaurant, but I figured I'd ask for my usual. The barista turned around to finish serving the person ahead of me and didn't even look at me. Something tells me, I don't know. I think that you've gone a little late
A few times.
a few times.
And they know you.
Yeah.
Something my mom would do.
Order coffee even though it's like closed.
Yeah, but she'd like be nice about it.
At the same time, they're under no obligation to serve you. It would be nice.
I even hate going in at like 10 minutes before closing, so I'm like, you guys like cleaning up?
Yeah, totally.
And
And,
sometimes-
they usually are, honestly.
I want to go home.
Bear in mind, I know her since I come here a lot. She knows my usual, always smiles and chats, and I've even asked her for some treats as she was locking up once, and she said she had wrapped them for the night a while ago, but was extremely apologetic and remembers to offer me treats every time. When the person left, she finally looked at me. I ordered my usual, and she repeated,
I'll just ask you if you could order inside since I have to close up out here.
I asked her to make an exception, and she said just this once, but seemed off. I thanked her again for serving me, and she said no worries. But as she was closing up, I was sitting in their outdoor area on my laptop, and she would not look or smile at me, as she usually does, and was
Oh,
barely
God,
looking in
calm
my
the
direction,
fuck
even
down.
though it was like 3:05 by the time she made my order, 2 minutes later than if I hadn't ordered. What the
I hate people who aren't conscious of other people's time.
Like, literally, but it also kind of sounds like you like this girl. Yeah, she's annoyed with you, and she doesn't owe you a smile.
Oh, I'm quirky. I'm like a little bit late. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know.
They're closed, they're closed. Like,
If they're
this
closed,
poor
they're
barista's
closed.
been there since 8 a.m. She's exhausted.
Yeah,
whoever it
literally.
is. They want to go home. They have to now. They have to stay an extra 15 minutes to serve you your coffee. Which
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like, what is it?
I'm sure it's great, but maybe there's another reason why you're going to this coffee shop. Just saying. I know what people say about going to a place at closing time, but I was in the queue just in time. I think she happily would have made the exception for me if it weren't for the group behind me, and only asked us all to go because there were 3 or 4 of them. I'm wondering if I'm missing something because she acted happy to serve me 1 minute, but then was colder than usual. Right, because you kind of didn't respect that she was closing. And she has a right to be kind of annoyed about that. Like, it kind of doesn't really sound like you respect that she's done working.
Is that the whole story?
Yes. That's why I feel like he likes her and he's second guessing an interaction because, like, who cares? You got what you wanted, but it kind of sounds like you're more interested. I don't know. It sounds like you care about being liked by this barista.
Yeah, it sounds like you just want to see this barista.
Yeah, I don't
Seems
know.
like you're a little butthurt. A little crushy poo?
Yeah, you got a little crushy poo on this barista. And I don't know. I feel like you kind of ruined your chances, honestly.
I don't know, buddy. If you want to ask her out on a date, you better be on time.
Yeah,
Not
honestly.
show up 5 minutes after closing. I like my coffee a certain way.
I was literally just reading that. So I love how you said, am I the a-hole for just liking my coffee the way I like it? That's not what this story was about.
You like who makes your coffee.
Isn't it funny how he's like,
I just like my coffee the way I like it, so everybody else needs to like bend to what I want.
Yeah, that was clickbaity title.
yeah, it was a clickbaity title.
What do you mean, bro?
He means that he'd rather get it from this barista and do it late than go somewhere where he can actually get a coffee and it doesn't inconvenience anybody else. You weren't just in time per your story. You jumped in the queue exactly at 3 p.m., so probably a minute or two after, knowing they close at 3. It's just the little details, right? He's definitely sugarcoating when he lined up.
And also, like, he's probably done this a lot. and
Yeah,
I'm just
totally.
like, come on, man.
The barista asked you to go inside because she needed to close and you refused. Exactly. So she already asked you once to go inside and she told you that she's closed. She caved so as not to upset you, likely knowing you'd react poorly as a regular, and based on the previous encounter you mentioned with the treats, she's probably intimidated by you. She wouldn't smile at you as she was closing because you're the a-hole.
She wouldn't smile at you because you stink. You're a stinky little bum.
She wouldn't smile at you because you were a jerk. You held her up, and depending on how strict her schedule is, you likely set her back a few minutes and could have caused issues for her. Some issues are strict about overtime, and maybe she has to pick up her kid, maybe she's on the way to another job. I've had employers basically say that if you don't clock out specifically at 3, she's literally working for free to give you your call.
And if it's once in a while, like maybe, but like if you're a guy who keeps coming in.
Perpetually late and not respecting that she closes, like you can show up a little earlier. You're the a-hole. Closing time isn't a suggestion, it's a rule. You know when they close. Get there at 5 to 3, not at 3. She still has to close up shop for probably at least an hour before she gets to go home. Quit acting like closing time for serving staff is a personal affront to you when they want to go home to their families just like you do.
Show up at like 10 to.
And don't be offended when someone doesn't want to serve you, and respect that they don't want to serve you, that they're closed.
They don't want to have to deal with being like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, literally, like she's gonna do it. Like, what's wrong with you? You got your coffee. You got what you wanted. Why are you like upset? That
Why is she upset with me that I showed up late?
That I don't respect when she works. You're the a-hole. This post is so cringe. You want special treatment and you don't treat the employees with respect. I bet you don't tip either. I think at the very least, you need to give a nice tip in a situation like this. Why are you going there exactly when they close? The entitlement and ignorance here is astonishing. It is. You also feel entitled to treats. It's weird. You're a butthead. Respect closing time. Places close at certain times for a reason. It's a rule, not a suggestion.
Follow the rules or you're going to hell. Which you are.
Which you are.
Subscribe!
These best friends became enemies in 10 seconds or less. Am I the a-hole for dropping out of my best friend's bridal party after she picked my ex as her man of honor?
Oh, hell no!
This was posted in the Charlotte Jober YouTube subreddit.
Oh,
so,
hell
my
no.
female 36 best friend,
Back,
female
back,
39,
back.
is getting married. And I was all in as one of her bridesmaids. We've known each other since college, shared heartbreaks, dorm rooms, and hangovers. She knows everything about my breakup with my ex. He was emotionally manipulative, cheated on me, and caused a lot of fallout so big, I had to rebuild myself from the ground up. She was there for all of it. And at the time, called him quote unquote,
Literal garbage in a human costume.
Okay. Flash forward to last month. She tells me she's choosing him as her man of honor because they reconnected and she thinks he's grown. I laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Oh, I hate it. I tried to keep it together but told her I couldn't be in the bridal party if he was involved in such a major way. She said I was being dramatic, that her wedding isn't about me, and that she values his support too. So, I dropped out. I still plan to go as a guest, but now she's furious. She says I'm ruining her special moment over old wounds and making her choose sides. I mean, like, it's one thing to, like, still be connected to someone who hurt your friend. And this isn't just like a subjective thing. Like, he objectively hurt OP. It's one thing to like be cordial and like kind around them, which is what honestly I expect as a friend. Like, if I have a falling out, I don't ever want to be put in a position where my friends are like bullying other people on my behalf. Like, I never want that. Me personally, I still want people to be cordial. But man of honor.
Brother,
Yeah. I feel blindsided and betrayed. If the roles were reversed, I would never put her in a situation where she'd have to play nice with someone who crushed her heart. So, am I the a-hole for stepping back instead of standing by her side while my ex stands at hers? I fail to understand why he has earned the role of
man of honor.
Okay, they reconnected. Okay, they kind of worked things out, talked, they're friends now. Why is he her bestie? Like, not only bestie, she's literally putting your ex above you. No. To some extent, I do agree with the whole, yeah, it's like the bride's wedding and she kind of gets to choose. But this is why I absolutely, personally, don't like the ranking of the friends, because what the bride in this story is doing is ranking her supposed best friend's ex above her best friend.
I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
I feel like in that case, somebody's bound to get pissed off. If you're willing to take that kind of risk, then you need to be okay with the fallout. I've come to realize that like you can have falling outs with people. It doesn't necessarily mean that people will be loyal. Just because I feel like if my friend has a falling out, that I have literally no purpose, like speaking to the person that she has had a falling out with. Like I'm not gonna be friends with that person. But then it's always awkward when they reconnect with that person and it's like, it's awkward, but I've just come to realize that people do whatever they want. Okay, so we do have an update.
Damn it, who just
So she went to the wedding as a guest and it was complicated. I kept my distance during the ceremony. Seeing my ex stand beside my best friend, the same person who once helped me pick up the pieces after he shattered me, felt surreal. He gave a speech. It was polished, charming, and full of inside jokes from their reconnection. I feel like I was watching a version of reality I didn't belong to anymore. After the ceremony, I tried to be cordial. I smiled, chatted with other guests, and avoided the bridal party, but my best friend cornered me during the reception. She said she missed me and that she'd wished I'd just let it go for her sake. I don't know, man.
What about my feelings? Don't my feelings count for anything?
I told her I was happy for her, but I couldn't pretend everything was fine. I reminded her that healing isn't linear, and that asking me to stand beside someone who emotionally wrecked me wasn't just inconsiderate, it was cruel. She cried, I cried, we hugged, but it didn't feel like a resolution. It felt like goodbye. Yeah, she totally picked him over you. I left early. I didn't stay for the cake or the dancing. I walked into the night feeling both lighter and lonelier. We haven't spoken. This was a couple of weeks ago. I've been in situations where like I've been like sobbing, like crying over a guy that was so awful to me. Like almost as awful as you can picture in your head. I would telepathically let you know what this person did to me. And to still see, you know, like my friends hanging out with them and like some of them even dating the guy. You know, these situations where it's like,
wow, like, interesting.
Am I a joke to you?
Coming from someone who has falling outs with people, I have come to realize that it's not your friend's obligation to like treat that person like, because you had a falling out, you can be cordial. But to me, being friends with that person, it stings and it does make me want to pull back. So I totally respect how you feel. No, you're not the a-hole. Holy cow, why should you feel bad about not standing by her side when it's so obvious she doesn't stand by you? She made her choice, and if she really felt any concern for you at all, she would have asked you before asking your ex to be man of honor. This is the other thing too, right? She knows exactly what this person did to you. She knows that you would probably be uncomfortable. She didn't ask you, she just did it. She was trying to stir the drama and she got what she wanted. Protect yourself from her. She's nasty. OP responds, thank you. Not the a-hole. It was goodbye. She chose someone else over you, someone who destroyed you. There's no coming back from that. I speak from experience. I fail to understand why she likes this guy so much.
He's a manipulative dick.
What possibly could have happened to make her choose him over her best friend and rank him higher? Like, how long have they been friends? We've known each other since college. Literally like close to 20 years. That's crazy to me. Okay, so some people are speculating that like maybe the bride and like the man of honor are like having an affair. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a few years down the line they have an affair and he treats her really horribly. And guess who she's gonna come to talk to? You, bestie. I don't think you're the a-hole. I think you were quite nice in the situation. It's not like you chose not to go to the wedding. This person fully chose the ex over you. That's gotta hurt. You're totally valid for feeling the way you feel. You are not the a-hole. Am I overreacting? My best friend of 13 years is getting married and didn't invite me. So me, female 20, my sister, female 19, and Dylan, male 20, have been best friends for 13 years. I'd say we've been through just about everything together. School, family drama, breakups.
The lot.
Dylan's been dating Kayla, female 21, for about 2 years now. We've all met and we've gotten along great. There's never been any bad blood or drama between us. They also have a baby and Kayla's currently pregnant again. At some point, Kayla and Dylan had a major falling out, actually devastating to their relationship. Kayla cried on the phone to us over it for about 2 days or so and was planning on moving back home with her own family. Dylan was not home any of these times because he was staying with a friend and getting drunk.
Don't tell me.
Stop it. Get some help.
On the third day, Dylan asked us to come out with him and we agreed. We met him at a pub, which we waited outside for him to finally stumble out, piss drunk, for about an hour. We all hung out at the local park just across the street and tried comforting him through what he said was the worst night of his life. We offered some advice and encouraged him to go home, stop drinking like this, and go work it out with Kayla because whatever they're arguing over isn't worth it, and certainly is not worth splitting their baby's parents up over. And it's not right that his girl's at home alone with their baby, bawling her heart out, and he's out here getting drunk and leaving her to it all. He cried for a bit, we hugged it out, and he finally agreed to go home and work on things with her. This is one example of the multiple times they've come to us and we've had to sort their problems out, pick them back up, and get them back on their feet. Moving on, Dylan and Kayla announced sometime last month that they were getting married. It was at a little family get-together thing we did for my sister's birthday. We told them that was great and we asked if we were invited. The initial answer was yes from Dylan, whereas Kayla said maybe, but Dylan reiterated his yes, of course. Well, today we found out through a Facebook post that they're getting married next month and we are suddenly not invited. To be quite frank, like I really genuinely feel like these people would not even be together if it weren't for you. We messaged him about it, respectfully of course, but he's at work and hasn't responded. I don't want to immediately pin this on his fiance. It's the fiance for sure. But I know there tends to be a lot of comments of those types on these kinds of posts. I mean, yeah, that's for a reason. So am I overreacting for not being invited to this wedding, or am I valid in being upset? No, you are 100% valid for being upset. Like 100%. Again, like it doesn't really seem like these people would be together if it weren't for you. You're not overreacting at all. You have every right to be upset. This is definitely a slap in the face. And to clarify, I'm a lesbian. I've been with my girlfriend for 5 years. My sister has been with her own boyfriend for 2 years. Also, Dylan gets really put out if we don't invite him to plans of our own, which is kind of making me think this is definitely shady. Top comment, it doesn't matter, this marriage won't last, you'll get invited to the next one. I mean, if you still want to remain friends with this person. Okay, so some people are pointing out like maybe it might have just been family that they invited and that's why it was kept small. I think before you get upset, like first of all, you have a right to be upset. Before we get all hot and bothered, let's find out who else is invited to the wedding and how many people. If it's just a small thing with just like their parents and maybe like siblings, that's another story. It still hurts. So let's find out, if possible, if there are other friends that are invited or if it's just family. And then we can like go full scorched earth. So we do have an update. Hey guys, I hope this makes sense, but I'm really pissed off and absolutely freaking disgusted. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Or it does sound good, depending on how you think about it.
Depending on if you like messiness.
My sister messaged Dylan the night the original post was uploaded. He made some excuse about how it was family only, which is perfectly fine. Until later he slipped up and mentioned that he actually was inviting friends too.
Ooh,
okay, yeah, time to go full scorched earth. Confused and wondering why he'd say they weren't inviting friends, then suddenly say they are, we asked him to clarify what he meant. He immediately went unresponsive and stopped replying, but we insisted and all agreed to talk about it in person over some drinks. Kayla came too. Obviously, she stayed sober. She's pregnant. Dylan and my sister, I'll call her Aster from now on, were drinking. So was I, but not as much as Aster and Dylan. A bit in, I noticed Dylan got touchy with Aster, and he's trying to keep a fair bit of distance between them. So the bride is uncomfortable because maybe Dylan and Aster have been touchy in front of her and you are not invited by extension. It's a bit weird, but Dylan's always been the I love you guys, wants to hug all the time, cries about how much he loves his friends kind of drinker. By this point, the planned conversation still hasn't come up, but Dylan invites Aster outside for a smoke and one-on-one chat. We're assuming that maybe what happened with this whole fiasco actually does have something to do with Kayla and he doesn't want to say it in front of her. Aster agrees and she tells me she'll keep me posted on what happens and I stay with Kayla. The rundown of what happened during this one-on-one chat makes my blood boil. Essentially, Dylan says he has feelings for us. Okay, so it's both of you, but you're gay.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
That we're the first girls aside from his mother that he's ever been friends with that he loves us. Dylan tries to come on to my frickin' sister while his fiance is in the bar? Oh, absolutely not. No. She tells him no and says they better head back to Kayla and I. But he tries to yank all of her clothes off anyway. Oh. She texts me help and I ring her and tell her she's got to be getting home now and that we're coming out to find them. Aster tells me what happened when they're home and we pull Kayla aside. Kayla blames us. Oh, God. No. Kayla had a right to be mad about the way that Dylan is like carrying himself, and like quite frankly I don't even understand why she's marrying him if he's that disrespectful, but she cannot be mad at you guys. Like, why are you being punished by like not getting an invite to their wedding because Dylan can't keep his hands to himself? Ugh. She blames us and says we're trying to break up their marriage, even when Aster tells her she's not making this up and she can prove it. She started recording the interaction when Dylan started getting really weird. Kayla starts making comments about the way we dress, the way we act, even makes comments about our house. Oh my God. We tell her it's time for her and Dylan to F off, and that when she's stuck later on down the line thinking about who to ask for help to make sure our names are never on that list again. So we never got an answer about the original situation. Babes, you don't need an answer.
Ready.
Like, that is your answer. Kayla is the type of person to blame the woman that the man cheats with, not the man who cheated. So we never really got an answer about the original situation, but we definitely got one of the status of the entire friendship, and that is they can both get bafanculo. And that's where we're at. Sorry if I've left anything out or if this is a total mess to read. No, you're good, bestie. Yeah, I would want to get the frick away from this. Dylan sounds like a nutso, but like Kayla also sucks. Sucks. So it sounds like you weren't overreacting, and no, you're not the a-hole. All right, we got one more for you. This was posted in the Charlotte Jober YouTube subreddit. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my best friend use the nail studio I built from scratch after she hijacked my birthday trip and replaced me? Hey Charlotte, big fan.
I appreciate you so much.
I'm a 19-year-old woman living in Philly. I've been emancipated since I was 15. Long story short, my home life was unstable, and after a year of bouncing between couches and school counselors advocating for me, I took control of my own life. At 16, I got full responsibility for my little brother, who's 10 now, and I've basically been raising him since. Every dollar I make supports us both. No parents in the picture, no family handouts, just grit, prayer, and ambition. You are a superwoman. Wow. I started my own nail business 2 months ago, in my house at first, and I just recently bought my own studio. Wow, round of applause. Not a booth, not a shared space, full-on private studio with branding, licensing, my own chair, booking system, the works. I am just so unbelievably impressed by you. I love it when people are dealt really cards, and they don't use those cards as an excuse to be a victim. You were dealt cards, and you made something of yourself, and I hope you know how amazing you are. It's small, but clean, cozy, and aesthetically me. I saved for nearly a year from Applebee's and little side jobs to reselling clothes. I taught myself acrylics, worked part-time jobs, and built a following on TikTok and Instagram. I've had weeks where I make $1,000 to $2,000 in straight appointments, and I'm proud of that. Oh girl, proud of you. My regulars come from all over Philly just to get sets by me, and I pour love into everything from the cuticle oil to the Spotify playlist. Now enter my former best friend. We will call her Maya. We've been friends since the end of 8th grade. I used to stay over at her place when things got bad at home. We bonded hard fast, and for years she's been my twin. My best friend lived in Mercer, so Maya was one of the few I really relied on. We would talk on FaceTime until 3 a.m., made vision boards together, and cried over boys together. She even helped me design the logo for my studio. It's always been ride or die. Until recently. Back in April, I started planning a birthday trip for my 20th. I turned 20 this November and I wanted to celebrate somewhere fun. After years of surviving, I finally had the ability to actually live. I picked Miami, locked down the Airbnb, booked my flight, and created a full itinerary with spa days, jet ski options, a rooftop dinner, and booked activities. It was gonna be 5 girls, including Maya, and I fronted the entire deposit under the agreement that they'd pay me back in installments. Maya swore she was good for it. I hate to say it, but I've been on many a girl's trips and been the one that paid for the Airbnb under the condition I would get paid back. And let me tell you, it's friendship ending. Late in May, Maya started getting close with a girl named Liv, a social media baddie, as Liv refers to herself, who just screams mess. Suddenly, she's posting cryptic captions, going on weekday brunches, and calling Liv her twin flame. I absolutely feel like there's, whenever a girl refers to you as things like soulmates or twin flame or like sisters, it's almost like there's something else going on. And by that I mean that like it's gonna get messy at some point. It feels like love bombing in a friendship, you know what I mean? Because like women long for that like intimacy and that closeness, and we want like besties who love us so badly, and then when a friend starts like love bombing you and like being like so obsessed with you, it just feels off. It's weird. I didn't care at first, friends grow, whatever, but she started brushing me off, skipping our calls, acting shady about the trip anytime I'd asked if she'd sent her portion for the Airbnb. It was always,
oh, I'll sell you next week,
or
I'm waiting for a brand deal to clear.
2 weeks ago, I opened Instagram. Maya is in Miami. Same Airbnb, same activities, with Liv. She posted a boomerang clinking glasses on a rooftop bar I literally had in our original itinerary, the one I made. I DM'd her asking if this was some sort of sick joke. Her reply, girl. I know, I hate it when people spell girl like that. I figured the trip wasn't even happening anymore. You've been focused on your business and I didn't want to pressure you. Liv already had plans, so I tagged along. Sorry, you're mad. Sorry, you're mad. Okay, so this happened after you've literally been constantly reminding her that you were going on this trip, that you needed to be paid, and then somehow she got to,
oh, you don't want to go anymore.
The math is not mathing there. When I tell you my flabbers orgasted, as our mind bestie, then, and I swear to God, I cannot make this up, 4 days ago, she texted me asking if she can use my nail studio to host her new lash brand's party. Apparently, the venue she had fell through last minute and she wanted to do something authentic and cute. She told me,
your studio will be perfect. It'll be super light. I'll clean up after. We'll tag your brand.
Is she friends with Liv because she can help her with her business? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, no. Like, the audacity is actually crazy. I said no. I told her point blank that after the way she handled the trip, I no longer felt comfortable offering my space, especially one she had zero interest in supporting lately. She replied with this long paragraph about how she always knew I'd switch up once I started making money.
It's jealousy, it's deceitfulness, it's vindictiveness, it's all that stuff.
I mean, I would argue that she switched up once she like had a friend that could benefit her, and that I was letting ego and fake business boundaries ruin our sisterhood. No. She hurts you, ditches you on your birthday, and then doesn't apologize and deflects blame and like makes up some weird story about how you didn't even want to go anymore. Then the next time she talks to you, she wants a favor, and I'm assuming that you're not being paid for the use of your studio. Now, our mutual friends are split. Some say I was petty. I mean, you were a little bit, but that's okay. That I could have just let her use the space for 2 hours. Others, especially the ones who've had similar fallout, say I was way too nice for even answering her text. As someone who does like to stonewall and like
protect the peace and etc.
I think that there's definitely something to be said for like letting people know why they've upset you. Seeing how they respond to that and whether or not they take accountability or if they deflect, if they gaslight, all of these things play into whether or not you want to continue a friendship or continue a relationship with someone. I actually feel like letting her know was nice, but at least she knows where you stand. And also, you know where she stands. Like, if there was any doubt of like who she is to you, you know now. Like, there's nothing like,
oh, like maybe I could have handled the situation better.
You handled the situation, and now you know. It's going to be much easier to walk away.
Bye, Felicia.
Tell her to ask her twin flame for a place to launch her brand. Literally. Like the comments on this say, you've been replaced by someone who she can benefit from more. And it sounds like this relationship was kind of transactional. At least maybe it became that way. She's not even very good at like transactions. Like if you want something nice, like at least make sure that we're like good before you ask. You know? That's kind of dumb. If she was smart, she would have apologized profusely, like let you know that there was some sort of miscommunication, offered to make up for the fact that she was ditching you on your birthday. Even then, like being ditched on your birthday for someone else is like pretty horrible, but like she handled it so poorly and then blamed you and gaslit you. No. So are you the a-hole for refusing to let your best friend use the nail studio I built from scratch after she hijacked my birthday trip and replaced me? No. You're not the a-hole, but I did see the updates on this story. I decided not to include them because it's a little sus, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I agree with every step that you've taken.
Naughty.
But you're not an a-hole for not letting someone use you after they hurt you. I don't know if I agree with everything else, but that is where we stand. If you want to go read the rest of the updates on that story, go check out the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. It's this guy!
Oh, hang on. Go switch it. All right, what are we on? We hit BJ.
I know.
Here we go.
On July 25th, TikTok users were sounding the alarm that a popular women's app was now compromised, affecting over 4 million users.
Ladies, do not use the T app.
All of your private messages, group chats, etc. can be downloaded.
Comments, posts, pictures, people's addresses from their IDs.
And the fallout is just beginning.
This is about a worst case scenario as you can imagine.
But as rumors spin out of control.
Did y'all hear about that 3-year-old little girl that was allegedly unalive due to that T app?
This is a serial killer that is on the T app.
Tensions between the sexes reach explosive heights.
Women across America are furious right now.
The men are mad. The men are mad, and that is extremely dangerous.
How the f did I get on the T app?
And further data is exposed.
You mean to tell me that this company that left a database open to the public with millions of people's pictures and driver's license had other issues?
One question remains. How can an app that was meant to protect women
can scroll through and see the guys in your area, and look, you can see if they have reported red flags or green flags,
leave them more vulnerable than ever? Whether it's a trendy new restaurant or the latest iPhone drop, most of us read the reviews before making the splurge. But when it comes to choosing a partner, arguably the biggest investment a person will make in their lifetime, what resources do we have? Well, if you're a woman, that's where T dating advice comes in.
It's basically like a Yelp for men.
Marketed as a tool that's designed to help women date safe, T dating advice, more commonly referred to as the T app, navigates women through dating in the digital age.
How would you characterize dating as a 22-year-old?
Honestly, it kind of sucks.
You just don't know who you're meeting. They have that TV show Catfish for a reason. I think people, nowadays are just pretending to be somebody that they're not.
The T app arms women with information by providing them with the ability to vet their current or potential partners through a database, where other users can provide anonymous feedback or warnings and assign red or green flags.
Everything was all fun and games until I seen my little on that T app. Y'all can keep that. And then mind you, I'm not the one that posted about my little so who's more worried about my little I am. You want to know the T before I do? Ah!
Sean Cook, the founder of the T app, was allegedly inspired to create the platform after witnessing his mother's terrifying experience with online dating, which included being catfished and unknowingly dating men with criminal records. This is why the T app provided users with alerts for specific names, a reverse image search feature that calls out catfish, and access to public records for background checks.
Makes the FBI work for us girlies so much easier.
I don't know why you guys didn't tell me that there's an app that's literally, are we dating the same guy? Because I would have loved to use that when I was actively getting cheated on.
If you, as a man, think you finna come with me, best believe you going on that T app, okay? I'm finna find out what the f you got going on. I'm gonna look your name up and everything. I'm gonna look your number up. I'm gonna make sure I'm clean before I walk into this.
Most importantly, what happened on the T app stayed on the T app, or at least that was the intention.
whole point of this app is
Quad
Dating Safety
solos.
Network, so we don't want to piss off these men by telling them, oh, you're on the app. Like, no.
This meant users couldn't take
Quad solos and
screenshots,
explore.
and since this was a female-only space, they had to verify their identities by uploading a selfie and providing a piece of photo ID, the latter requirement being removed sometime in 2023. While the app launched 2 years ago, it was only recently that it went viral on social media and skyrocketed to #1 on the App Store. Clearly, the app's fundamental belief that women should never have to compromise their safety while dating resonated with many. But little did the women who signed up know that their safety would be more at risk than ever. On July 25th at 6:44 a.m. PST, an unauthorized person accessed the T-app's systems. From there, roughly 72,000 images were leaked. This included 59,000 comments, posts, and direct messages with sensitive details.
Oh my god, I never knew that. I always knew he was a scammer, but he gave broke to me and never spent money and was living with his roommate at the time. It's another one. I hate him. He is so pathetic.
And 13,000 government IDs and selfies that the app's own privacy policy claimed were only temporarily stored for verification purposes and then deleted. Yes, all of this personal, identifying information was floating around online for anyone to find and do what they wanted with.
It really is scary for the users because you can't just go and change your address. That's where you live, and there's a physical security risk there.
Naturally, the 4 million users who trusted the T-app were concerned.
And that is extremely dangerous. I mean, thankfully for me, like my license address is not like actually where I physically live, but like this needs to be known and shared for everybody's safety.
And as anxiety grew, so did questions.
How do we get it off of the internet? How is the T team responding? How they responded? I don't know.
The loudest being, how could this happen? Well, it turns out pretty easily. See, when it came to the T-app leak, no hacking was involved.
All of this information is available on publicly accessible Google Firebase servers.
Yes, the app had left personal information vulnerable to anyone with basic computer skills and a vendetta.
Unfortunately, the T app was not secured the way that it was supposed to.
No username, no password required, no encryption.
And there's a bunch of women that are going on this platform thinking that it's safe, believing and trusting whoever's built this app is building it with the best intentions, but really, they're trusting these people blindly.
The internet quickly dug up the founder's experience, which, according to his LinkedIn, consisted of 6 months of coding. One Reddit user commented, so they just walked through a door that was unlocked. Another user replied, there wasn't even a door. There's a term for what the T-app allegedly did.
Vibe coding. Vibe coding.
Vibe coding.
Vibe coding is when software developers express their intentions for an app, and AI does the rest, often leaving serious gaps in security. According to the T-app's official statement, only people who joined before February 2024 were affected by the breach. However, even the 900,000 who are still waiting to be approved by the app feared their information wasn't safe.
Still haven't been accepted yet, so I might be safe, I don't know. But all I know is that I will be monitoring my identity like crazy. And you should too if you signed up for the app and actively used it.
And while the T-app claimed no emails or phone numbers were accessed, they acknowledged they were still unaware of full nature and scope of the breach, something that would become apparent in coming days. Online, the T-app was accused of everything, from incompetence to criminal negligence.
Here's a tip to the T-app creators. Use real lawyers when that lawsuit is eventually
God,
filed. Don't outsource it to AI.
Oh my God,
For some,
sir, you're scammed.
the breach wasn't a cautionary tale of cybersecurity gone wrong. It was karma. Despite the millions of downloads the T-app was flooded with in the days and weeks leading up to the breach, not everyone was charmed by the platform's premise.
All these guys are talking to, they're all like getting nervous, they're all freaking out, making TikToks about it.
Dating in 2025 is cooked. Let's see what we're up against.
This app is a man's worst nightmare.
The T-app is ruining men's lives right now. It's taking 20-year-old women and it's creating kind of a frenzy. You're able to post men that you're dating to, elicit input from other women. It's got a lot of guys scared.
Scared and angry, yes. While the T-app's marketing may have made it look like men would be totally on board with the app.
PSA to all my green flag men out there. You should encourage the women you're talking to online to do a background check on you before you ever meet up.
From the reactions on TikTok and Reddit, the platform had only ignited one thing, male rage. But what was it about the T app that provoked such an intense reaction? Ultimately, it came down to consent. Men never gave permission for their images, names, and personal information to be uploaded to the T app. Yet, this didn't stop users from doxing, defaming, and destroying men's reputations with a single click.
She says I ghosted her. Yeah, the date was over. The date was over, so I left.
I used to work with him. He gave me gay vibes. What?
Men have no way to actually respond to accusations. They can't correct any false information, especially when we're talking about having their photos removed or having their photos used without their consent.
The T app even advertised features that made toxic behavior easier, like the ability to find a man's address through his phone number. On top of this, life-ruining allegations involving SA were also posted without any proof. And online, resentment was brewing. Imagine if the roles were flipped. There should be a civil lawsuit for sexism. Straight up, this is sick and degenerate. This might be the last straw for me to give up dating entirely. Many began predicting that the T app would end in lawsuits, with one user pointing out the similarities between the app and an anonymous website from the 2000s for college students, Juicy Campus. It wasn't long before the anonymous posts started defaming individual students and professors. It wasn't long before the lawsuits started flying and Juicy Campus couldn't keep a profit. The same thing is gonna happen with T. Some man with money to spend is gonna be defamed. He'll file a lawsuit against the app for publishing defamatory material. Other men will do the same. Advertisers will run for the hills, and T won't be able to pay for the mounting and incessant legal bills. The end. Comparisons have also been made between the T app and Are We Dating the Same Guy Facebook groups, which have been sued multiple times over the years.
All suits are $49 to $99. End of season sale is here. 3-piece suits $89. 2-piece $49.
One Reddit user even described being posted to one of these groups after he rejected a coworker who attempted to SA him. That platform, and others like it, can be misused by individuals with harmful intentions. Some will attempt to defame good men simply because their advances were turned down. My advice to men, document your interactions and protect yourself. If you're a successful, good-looking man with a career, you may become a target for false rumors. Of course, as others have pointed out, the allegations on Are We Dating the Same Guy groups and the T app aren't always false. One Reddit user went so far as to claim that the only reason these platforms are controversial is because Brady, who SA'd 3 girls and brags about it to his friends, now will watch his matches dry up on Tinder. Boo-hoo. But even if users are telling the truth, that doesn't mean men don't have a case.
You can be saying something that is true, but it's being used in a way to constantly harass somebody, cyber harassment. There are laws that cover that.
And it wasn't just lawsuits that were being forecasted. As backlash increased.
And the problem with the T app is it is designed to create enemies for itself. Now, what does that mean? By allowing a space for women to safely talk about men, it is inherently putting a target on their back.
A data breach became less a matter of if, but when.
Because your personal information that you put onto that app's database will get leaked eventually. It's honestly just a matter of time.
At this point, there were also a number of unconfirmed rumors circulating about the T app. This included a story that had to be debunked by Detroit police that there was a serial killer prowling the app for their next target.
There's a guy out in Detroit that has already 5 women, okay, because they outed them on the T app. So y'all need to be careful. If anything, stop using the T app. Stop. If you use the T app, don't out anybody. At least sit there and make sure that you are anonymous in every aspect of being anonymous, okay?
A boy who allegedly took his own life after he was posted on the T app.
Was he posted on false accusations, or was he really exposed of what he really did? All I know is that a guy from Michigan has unalived himself.
And a T app fueled argument where a woman believed anonymous strangers over the man she was dating.
This female, and the female saw his picture on the T app, and 5 other females claimed they was messing with him. So when she confronted him And he basically told her, like, I'm raising my daughter alone. I don't have time to be entertaining females. Of course, like a typical bird brain, she didn't believe him.
Which ended in her male friend allegedly firing at the man's house and accidentally taking the life of his daughter.
It hit the daddy in the shoulder and it unalived the little 3-year-old girl. Y'all done took this baby life over some child seen on the app about her father.
But amid these twisted rumors, there was a warning.
Because y'all know women are more emotional than men by like 70%. So if this boy unalives himself, guess what the women are gonna do when they see themselves exposed? And men aren't gonna go that easy as women.
That something darker was coming.
Y'all need to be safe. Like, y'all are pushing men over the deep end. Men are not stable, okay? They are not stable. Be safe, women, okay? Please be safe.
One word, retaliation.
This is gonna ruin people's lives. This ain't funny when the men's version come out. And I've been told 2 to 3 apps are coming out like next month or before. They're crazy. They're just gonna go hard.
Yes, online, men were discussing launching their own app.
T-app, go ahead and make a male version. Now. I mean now.
Just wait till the female version comes out. Just wait.
The men have created an app, and we got all your info, and we put it on there.
They claimed the only way for women to take their complaints seriously was to fight fire with fire. Or, in the words of one Reddit user, the issue is that people, women especially, won't see this as an issue until the male version of the app is created. I deserve to know my dates, STD history, body count, etc. And soon enough, a male version of the T app had surfaced. It was called T-Born.
Got a new it. That's for the girls? That's for the green. Nah, it's over.
The app, however, didn't last long. After men started posting explicit content of women, it was shut down. Something many saw as proof that female-only spaces were needed.
These men are just like consistently proving why the T-app was created in the first place. Women are calling you out for being serial cheaters, abusers, stalkers, general creeps, and you respond by posting their... You are everything that they're saying that you are. I don't understand how you don't see that.
Other male alternatives to the T-app also surfaced, including BoxScore and the Matcha app, which seemed to mainly involve calling women bops. Both of these platforms have since been removed.
This man's a rapist. He touches kids. He tried to talk to me when I was 15 and he was 34. Stay away.
She stinks. She's fat.
Yet, the war against the T-app waged on. Just days before the data breach, men were rallying the troops to report the #1 app. By July 24, 4chan users were begging for a hack. The next day, someone answered their prayers. That's right. According to the tech publication 404 Media, the database of T-app photographs was first leaked to 4chan. And as the women who trusted the T-app with their information went into panic mode, these users rejoiced. Many men had no sympathy for the T-app members that had been doxxed, seeing as some of them were already doxing men. Yes, the divide was clearer than ever, as men accused the app of being sexist and hypocritical for protecting women by endangering men and spreading supposedly false allegations. As for the leak, well, for many, it felt a lot like payback. But others weren't so convinced the T-app was as toxic as critics made it seem. As one TikTok user questioned, destroy men's life by sharing truths about them? And another user commented, maybe it is me, but WTF is the big deal. Women should be able to check on creeps. I think men should have an app like that too. Many also saw the breach as further proof that women had been right to fear men. After all, in the following days, they exposed just what they were capable of. Yes, things were getting dark and fast. Amid criticism, some users became more comfortable voicing radical opinions. Take this since-deleted Reddit comment, for example. This is why the Saudi Arabian government made it illegal for women to talk to each other. And across social media, the leaked images were picked apart, with internet users calling T-app users whales and ugly who were getting the punishment they deserved, or maybe not quite yet. See, all of this personal information at their fingertips, some internet users couldn't help going for a little extra credit. So, maps of every leaked address were created, and shared online.
And it took the incels at 4chan no time to start creating things like this. This is a map with user locations, which is extremely terrifying. So if you've given them any of your personal data, please be very careful and monitor the situation closely because this is terrifying.
Then, T-Spill appeared, a website that allows people to rate believed selfies and creates a leaderboard.
I ain't trying to violate, but genuinely, like 99% of the women that were on this app, like just hating on guys on short.
According to cybersecurity experts, this was only the beginning.
Hi, I'm Joe Delaney. Today we're going to talk about what's the fastest way to get to a 10% body fat and still look and feel okay when you get there. But before we start, let's talk about the device you need to have to measure your progress properly.
So this is the BodyPod by Hume, and it's a smart scale, but more accurate. It's a smarter scale. Of course, it tracks your body weight, but
In the future, these images could be used for deep fakes, fraud, and other forms of misrepresentation. And while the T-App initially claimed that there was no evidence to suggest other user data was leaked, it turned out they were wrong. On July 28, a second breach was reported. This time, the data that was leaked exposed DMs between users, including sensitive personal conversations, real names, social media handles, and phone numbers.
You mean to tell me that this company that left a database open to the public with millions of people's pictures and driver's license, and then all of a sudden got an influx of attention this week about that security flaw, had other issues?
This leak seemingly included every DM sent across the app, with discussions involving everything from infidelity to terminated pregnancies. And it turns out, the data might not be as old as the app claims.
The company says it's old, but researchers say that they're seeing stuff from last week.
In response to the breach, the T-App has taken DM functionality temporarily down. According to their statement, because this is an active investigation involving external cybersecurity experts and the FBI, there are limits to what they can share and when. Until then, they've stated they're committed to strengthening the T-App security and plan to offer free identity protection services to anyone who has been affected by the breach. In the meantime, cybersecurity experts have recommended that T-App users freeze their credit, turn their social media accounts private, and change their passwords. But even then, there's no deleting leaked information from the internet. And despite the criticism that's been directed at both women and men, for many, blame lies squarely on the app that failed to protect its users.
To even call it a hack is giving people a bit too much credit because it was really due to poor programming.
It was just negligence on the app creators for not locking this down. How are you gonna launch a startup about exposing men and then not think cybersecurity all the way through?
Not immediately deleting photos of people's IDs and selfies as soon as their identities were verified shows that some of you are out here actively trying to get women.
While you're here, check out our other video about another social media storm brewing online, this time involving notorious influencer Woe Vicky and a series of concerning social media posts that have the internet searching for clues. And consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Your support means...
One more.
3 huge reasons why you should definitely avoid using this on your hair. In just 2 weeks, it made my hair grow like crazy. My little baby hair started...
On July 22nd, 2025, Instagram star Lil Tay, who became famous for flexing wealth as a child, came to X with a shocking question.
So, it's my 18th birthday on July 29th, and every male has been counting down to it and literally telling me to drop the link the second I turn 18. Girlies, what do you think? Should I do it?
Tay then asked for 10K likes to consider making an OF. It only took 6 hours to reach this goal. As Tay turned 18, she fulfilled her promise and broke an OF record of being the youngest creator to make $1 million in 3 hours. This situation had people in utter disbelief. Our society is cooked. $1 million worth of people who need their hard drives checked. This better be the biggest PDF sting of the decade. But this is worse than you think. Internet sleuths are now digging up Lil Tay's old posts, and what they discovered changes everything. I have so much proof that Lil Tay is like 15. You're a victim. What is really happening with Lil Tay? Is this really empowering for women, or is she being exploited? 7 days before Lil Tay's 18th birthday, she teased her audience on and off about dropping racy content before making one last effort on August 1st, 3 days after her birthday, requesting 100K likes and I won't drop the OF. As of now, the post still has less than 20K likes, and Tay took this as a sign to drop the link.
You already know what the going on. Lil Tay's dropping the youngest link of the century. Mark your calendars tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST. And nobody, including my family, including the grown haters, is gonna stop me. You know why? Lil Tay rich and finna get richer.
Then August 3rd, 3 p.m. came, and although many people doubted her, she did just as promised. I did it! Link in bio. All content shot at 12:01 a.m. on my 18th birthday. B-Day special only available for 24 hours. Come talk to me, Lil Tay posted to her socials. Attached were images of Tay flaunting a shirt that read, "Adult Star in Training." Screenshots of Tay's OF biography quickly spread on social media, which revealed new information. Please don't tell my mom. Come see me in my birthday suits. Birthday suit typically implying what you wore the day you were born, completely unclothed. Then it happened. Subscriptions, tips, and paid messages were pouring in on Tay's OF. And in just 3 hours, Lil Tay earned over $1 million, breaking an OF record of being the youngest creator to earn that much money in such a short time frame. Tay sold a regular subscription for $19.99 and 3 other bundles between $56 to $227. If every subscriber bought only one type of bundle, the $511K from her subscriptions would roughly translate to this, meaning in reality, there's likely a mix of these, so the true subscriber count would fall somewhere between 2,200 to 25,000 people. People were absolutely enraged. Anyone who subs is a PDF. OF must be banned. How do we allow this? This is disgusting. As a mom, it makes me so angry. If I were a woman married to one of these men, I would get a divorce immediately. How can you live with and trust a man who waits for the moment a girl turns 18? It is disturbing on so many levels. God gave men, women, and children to protect, but instead they are their biggest predators. Many people didn't believe Tay actually took her OF photos at 12:01 a.m. and introduced a new concern. Wait, so if the content was prepared before she was 18, it's technically still content of an underage, isn't it? She was 17 in the pics/vids, so isn't this still a crime? Some were even mad at Tay for the way she promoted her content. Playing into the barely legal obsession is gross. Both her and the people who consume her media are terrible. She's selling it like this is the youngest adult content you can legally get a hold of. Exclusives shot at 12:01 a.m. Sounds like she was itching to release it and would have sooner if it was legal, which feels so weird. Very, very sus. However, as buyers began discussing Tay's OF content, news spread that she did not post 18+ content, but photos similar to her public Instagram account. And 2 days later, she released a new music video, leading people to think she was just trying to relaunch her music career. But that didn't mean not safe for work content wasn't in discussion. Yes, things got more disturbing when controversial figures began reaching out to her. Bonnie Blue, infamous for sleeping with over 1,000 men in 12 hours, allegedly DM'd Tay this. I'm going to be in LA later this month. Would you be down to collab?
I'm a makeup artist who doesn't love traditional foundation. That's why I created What the Foundation. Traditional foundation can be thick and cakey and actually make your skin look worse. What the Foundation is a hybrid product that blends foundation and moisturizer. This is exactly what I think a foundation should be. It has such beautiful oils oils in it. You often don't need a moisturizer with it. The right amount of pigment, it's enough that gives you that even coverage without looking dry. It actually gives you a lift, and you don't need a lot of it. A little goes a long way. It just makes your skin look better. Even out my complexion, it just make my face look fresh.
The skin nourishing ingredients make my skin feel so soft and supple.
Jones Road What the Foundation. It is amazing. I love just touching this lightly. It's like this nurturing cream.
Bitch, just fucking
such a smooth, light
fondle
feel
your
to it.
goddamn
It's
skin,
not
then I don't
cakey
care.
at all.
Creamy, velvety. It provides a nice, somewhat sheer coverage that blurs out my lines and evens out my ugly lines. I don't need all of the serums and the moisturizer and the primer underneath foundation. This is skincare in a jar with just a little bit of color. It makes your skin look like you, but better.
This is beautiful. It makes my routine in the morning so fast. It makes me look like I have natural, beautiful skin.
To which Tay shared publicly on X and asked her fans, 500k subs on my OF and I'll do it. If this actually follows through, it would be highly controversial because Bonnie Blue also infamously boasts about how much she enjoys sleeping with freshly turned 18-year-olds. She even attends spring break events to find willing participants. Now, it seems like she's targeting Lil Tay with the same she uses in those stunts. And these types of invites were everywhere on Tay's social media, coming from adults. Hit me up for the collab. Drop some spicy pics for us. Lil Tay, let's do a collab. And that last user, well, he doesn't appear to be an adult star, but a fan shooting his shot. I love you. You're the key to my heart. You're way better than my old of a wife. I love you. Let's do a collab, Lil Tay. You're so beautiful and angelic. I would literally leave my kids for you. Yes, you heard that right. He's married. In his public X bio, he's identified himself as a 35-year-old husband and a lawyer with a 200 plus IQ. He was also seen reposting a tweet about being attracted to even a 15-year-old is biologically normal, and has a long list of replies to people saying Tay has been legal for several years because age of consent is 16 or 17 in most states. And this is what people feared about the buyers who collectively spent $1 million. I bet more than half are married with kids and full-time jobs. Other commenters were even asking Tay to make adult videos with influencer Piper Raquel, which at the time of the request, Piper was still 17 years old. And a few made requests that are so disgusting, we can't say it out loud. That's not even the most shocking part about the lust-driven buyers. In several social media posts where Lil Tay kept boasting about her fame, one part that stood out was, "Shout out to the ones who pre-ordered or spawn camped." Spawn camp likely means some buyers were waiting for midnight to strike to buy her content first. But pre-ordering? She shared exactly how long ago people were queuing.
Why are you on live and telling people you're gonna drop a link?
So I'm just gonna disappoint everybody that's been waiting since 2023 and even 2018 by not.
Bro, what in the Americanized capitalistic is this?
Capital? What? Everything is about the bag.
An X user also shared this screenshot, which shows what allegedly looks like Tay as the admin of a group called 18th Birthday Countdown. In the chat, the admin shared an old photo from 2018 and asked, what year did you pre-order? If Tay is actually 18 right now, then according to her, people have been pre-ordering since she was 11 to 16 years old, meaning they were already fantasizing about her when she was under AOC. Yup. This disgusted people. Her manager should be in jail. Nothing more destructive to men than adult content, with a few people even tagging Visa and MasterCard to take accountability for allowing pre-orders from a minor. Another pointed out the unfortunate truth about both current and pre-order buyers. OMG, this is terrible. Y'all watched her grow up. She got famous when she was 9. And it's true. For most of the internet, Lil Tay's fame came from being a 9-year-old kid who bragged about money online.
And see, this is my closet. Everything here be designer. Gucci, Louis, Versace. Lil Tay out here balling in the eye gate. I dropped
say
So when people are
$350
thirsting for her
chain, is that what
OF
you just
pics
said?
today, many can't help but think it's layered over the memory of her as actual little Tay. Still, for many, 18 is legal, so they didn't see any issue with Tay's decision. But what if we told you Lil Tay might not be 18 at all? As you know, the internet is forever, so it wasn't long before old clips began resurfacing of Tay possibly caught in a lie. There were 2 clips of Tay verbally saying her age from April 2018. This is from Tay's Instagram,
I dropped 200 racks on this car, and I'm only 9 years old.
and this is from Tay's YouTube.
She put up with 2 grown bodyguards that were trying to assault a 9-year-old. Like, why? Is it because I have more clout than you? Is it because I'm richer than you? Why do you try and fight a 9-year-old girl?
Since these were from April, she would have turned 10 years old a few months later in July, and it's only been 7 years since then. So that would mean she could be 17 years old now. Now, this is where it gets confusing. People also noticed 2 tweets from February 2024, where Tay claimed to be 14 years old when she called out streamer Just X Snags for making predatory comments about a grade schooler and herself. If we go based on these tweets, then Tay would have turned 15 in July of 2024 and allegedly be 16 this year in 2025. But that's not all. This TikToker shared several Discord messages allegedly from Tay from August 2024, where she confessed, "I'm 14. Google is wrong. 14. I'm 14. Tay appeared to tweet the same information on X, also in August 2024. If this is true, that would mean Tay should be 15 years old now in 2025. Based on all this information, we now have 3 ages that she could potentially be right now. 15, 16, and 17 years old, all under AOC. However, there was one other theory, that she may have lied about her age for shock value and kept up the act once she came back. Now she's being honest, but she's lied about it so much nobody wants to accept it. No matter what age Lil Tay is, one thing is clear, she's still young, and people are noticing red flags. In the video where Tay was arguing with her brother Jason about dropping OF content, Tay revealed,
You're just mad that you're broke. You're mad that no agency came to you before your 18th birthday and said, hey, we'll give you 30 to 40 mil to drop a link. Am I right or am I right?
Really? That's a flex? That's a flex. It's not.
In that same video, Jason cut the live stream short, seeming disappointed in Tay's path in life.
I get
Getting
30
good
M's
grades
flex.
to contributing something to society?
I get good grades.
They're
not mutually exclusive.
From where? What grades?
From school, what grades are you talking about?
Bro, get the
I get good grades from
Yo,
school.
get
Are
off.
you dead? Are we... The link is dropping whether you want it or not.
Get off alive.
Are you for real? Both of my phones.
Tay also used to talk down on men, but now she's profiting off them.
I'm richer than all y'all broke haters. Y'all grown men hating on me because y'all broke and jealous.
Her age, paired with being approached by an agency to drop a link, and her switch up to entice men, made people feel like she was a victim being exploited, which caused people to look for the adults in her life. Where the F are your parents? Someone needs to
The
call
hell's going
CPS
on?
your parents. I'm sorry they failed you. The thing is, one of her parents is absent, her father. Tay exposed this back in August 2023, and this might explain why she's behaving this way now, and why her brother is so against it. You may remember there was a post on Tay's Instagram announcing her and her brother's sudden and tragic passing. This was obviously a hoax, and Tay alleged her own father, Christopher Hope, hacked her account to spread misinformation. She also called him my abusive, racist, misogynist, woman-beating father. While Christopher denied these allegations, Tay waited 2 months before returning with evidence on a live stream. She accused him of wanting complete control over her career and money, even claiming he planned to promote a crypto coin after faking her She explained her father was absent for years, but returned after her sudden rise in popularity. At that point, he regained custody and started a court case to allegedly silence her and gain access to her earnings. Tay also alleged her childhood memories consisted of Christopher getting intimate with many women under their roof. She particularly remembered Chris's assistant, recalling one disturbing night when she was awoken by Chris and his assistant in bed beside her, with the assistant placing her hand on Tay's leg. Tay said she froze in place, seeming to insinuate the couple was likely hooking up and forgot about her presence. She further claimed that Chris sought out other women online, mostly Asian women, and even used Craigslist to arrange the encounters. However, out of all the flings, one woman managed to become Chris's new wife and make Tay's childhood worse than it already was. Hani Hope. Chris allegedly met her online when she was living in the Philippines, working as a career scammer, according to Tay. The devastating part, Tay accused both Chris and Hani of physically and mentally mistreating her. She even showed a police report as proof. One example Tay shared involved being forced to watch horror movies at an age she felt was too young. During one of the movies, Tay claimed she tried to hide her face in a pillow to avoid the film Bride of Chucky, but Hani allegedly restrained her so she couldn't escape. After the movie, Hani allegedly locked Tay in a closet and told her to go play with Chucky. Even food wasn't safe for Tay. Alleging Chris packed her lunches with rotten, frozen, and parasitic food, and reprimanded her mother for trying to drop home-cooked meals off at the school, allegedly saying he would deduct child support if she continued to do so. And the priorities became crystal clear when Chris allegedly gave Tay deteriorating clothes, while simultaneously providing Hani with luxury items, which Hani allegedly showed off online. Tay also claimed Chris has a history of DV, dating back to before she was born, when he allegedly committed DV on her mother. Tay explained her brother Jason tried to stop the DV, but Chris would also lay hands on him. Jason also tried exposing this behavior back in April 2021, after Tay was silenced with a court order. He alleged, Chris and his wife Hani have been living a lavish lifestyle and going on vacations all off of Tay's money. This is only 1% of the pictures I could get a hold of. Notice how Tay is in none of them. They have mistreated Tay her whole life, and now they are living off the millions they stole from her. In the end, Tay's mother was able to regain sole custody, and the court has ordered Chris to pay retroactive child support amounting to approximately $275,000 and ongoing child support. Tay has also relocated away from her home city of Vancouver to LA to pursue her career. So, she grew up in a home where she was forced to witness her father's many flings and their intimate activities, had no stable father figure, and lived in constant DV and emotional abuse, which made people look at her OF venture differently. This explains a lot now. Now I know why you are the way you are. Go look for help. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time successful girls have been the face of a countdown to their 18th birthday. A man created a website called Twin Tracker to count down the Olsen twins' legal age in each state. When Billie Eilish turned 18, her name was the top search on a popular adult site. Britney Spears was hounded by interviewers about her virginity as a teen.
How do you feel about all the constant speculation about your virginity and whether you are a virgin or not? I really wish I would have never said anything to begin with.
And magazines and interviewers were already focusing on her body the year leading up to her 18th birthday, along with a birthday countdown.
Everyone's talking about it.
What?
Well, your breath.
In more recent times, Bad Baby also broke an OF record by making $1 million within 6 hours of turning 18. The pattern is always the same: a countdown to exploit young girls the second the clock strikes midnight. And now that SW has become increasingly accessible to anyone with Wi-Fi and a phone, some people might not even think twice about it when the potential payout could be massive. But it's not the easy way out that it's chalked up to be. As one user said, like other platforms, only the top 1% make it. Several horror stories online also contribute to this narrative. As we speak, a coworker is going through it. Now she's struggling to find a job in her field, law. Me and a friend did some cam girl things back in the day. We ended up being so revolted with what we were being demanded to do for extra money. We both quit cold turkey and prayed it never came back to haunt us. When I turned 18, I only spent 3 years as an OnlyFans creator, but looking back, those were the most miserable years of my life. No matter what I posted, they wanted more explicit content. For all the money I was bringing in, I was spending it just as quickly. I spent money to mask my depression and anxiety. I got used to this luxurious lifestyle where I'd go on fancy trips to beautiful places to shoot content in a new setting. Each time I'd think, maybe this is the trip I'll be happy on. But it was never true. I was always miserable. And so much more can happen, like leaks, bullying of loved ones, crazed fans becoming stalkers, and more. On the mental health side of things, regular exposure to adult content can develop skewed understandings of intimacy, consent, and relationships. Desensitization to dangerous themes and body dysmorphia and insecurity due to unrealistic portrayals of bodies. So, is what Lil Tay doing actually empowerment or another form of exploitation? Turning 18 doesn't magically turn exploitation into empowerment. If the entire sell is look how young she is, then it's marketing built on the section of youth. True empowerment isn't just about who's holding the power, it's about who benefits from it. And in the adult entertainment industry, unfortunately, it's rarely the women. Even though Tay benefits with money right now, down the road, there could be long-term harm to her reputation, mental health, and safety. She is also contributing to the demand for freshly 18 content. But it's important to note that it's not her choices alone. There's a huge demographic of adults buying into it. And the truth is, the only way to address that demand is to stop participating in it, stop supplying it, and help loved ones understand why that kind of content can harm both the creator and the consumer. If you or someone you know is thinking about adult entertainment as a quick way out, know that it's not the only option. Here are some resources to help you. While you're here, check out our video on a TikTok family that people are asking to be investigated. And consider liking, commenting, and subscribing.
Okay, that was
Your
the last
support
one
means a
of
lot to us
Still.
and helps us continue to create videos like these.
All Uber drivers pass a background check before their first ride and are
Miley.
rescreened every year.
Miley Cyrus.
Oh, there goes Hannah Montana.
Hey, girl.
Disney legend Miley Cyrus.
Shave my head, diamond blonde.
And Nicki Minaj.
Broke Aretha Franklin's all-time record for most hits by a female artist.
Mr. Aretha, I think I just passed her. You said you look up to her, but really you look up to me.
Two genre-defining artists who've carried the entire weight of American pop culture for over a decade, but seemingly never quite crossing into each other's lane. Well, except for that one time in 2015, right?
And now, this had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?
Well, after extensively researching both of them, I've uncovered a nearly decade-long feud stemming back to not only the original Queen Bee herself, Lil' Kim, but massive rap superstar Cardi B. Miley Cyrus and Nicki Minaj would both write disses on each other, but some of Miley's most scathing words never made it into the final song. However, I found the original demo with her original lyrics and it's explosive. So buckle up, throw your Hannah Montana wig on, and get in the Barbie Tings mindset, because me and Shelby are diving into the time Miley Cyrus picked a fight with the Queen, and the decade of hell that followed.
Before we dive into the world of one of the most wild pop culture moments of 2015, I want to take a moment to thank ZocDoc for sponsoring this episode of
Got it.
Some of you may already know this, but a couple of months ago, I had a horrible wrist fracture after falling down some stone steps. 1 metal plate and 12 screws later, I am finally recovering, but it's a long process with many doctors and physical therapy appointments. For me, when it comes to anything medical, it can be so confusing figuring out insurance, calling around to figure out who's in network and out of network. That is why I love ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors. Choose the right one for your needs and click to instantly book an appointment. From mental health to dentistry, eye care, skincare, and everything in between. ZocDoc makes it easy to book in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers. You can filter for doctors by insurance, location, and specialties, and see reviews by verified patients so you can choose the best, most convenient care for you. When you've found the doctor you need, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time that works for you, and instantly book a visit with just a few clicks. Plus, ZocDoc helps you get appointments fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. And you can even score same-day appointments. And if you're like me and you don't like talking on the phone, there's no need to call doctor's offices and wait on hold either. ZocDoc lets you do everything online so you can quickly make an appointment and get on with your day. Stop waiting, stop guessing, and start getting the care you need. Go to ZocDoc.com/deepdive to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Thank you again to ZocDoc.
Stop
Now
it, you
grab
dumb
your
fuck.
goodies and let's jump right back into the video.
Now, to really get in the weeds of where the story even begins, we have to jump in the deep dive time machine back to the year 2012, where session pop was going full swing. Miley Cyrus had just finished the promotion of her final project with the Disney Channel, closing out an era with Can't Be Tamed. If you turned on the radio, synths were cheap, fashion was loud, and female rappers were nearly extinct from the charts, until one woman changed it all. And her name is Nicki Minaj. Now, if you've been watching Deep Dive for some time, then you already know Barb blood courses through my veins. Ever since her New Year's Eve performance of Right Through Me, I've been genuinely obsessed. And back in 2012, Nicki Minaj was pink pilling the entire world. You couldn't scroll Twitter or listen to iHeartRadio or go on Instagram for more than 1 second without seeing Nicki Minaj and her aesthetic everywhere. Hell, you couldn't even turn on American Idol without seeing her. Women had bubbled under in the rap industry for decades before Nicki, but she was here to knock it out of the park so hard, she would take the entire industry to a whole other level. Nicki Minaj single-handedly turned female rap into an unignorable facet of mainstream pop culture. If you flipped on the radio in 2012, chances are Nicki wouldn't just be the song that was on. She would be the next 5 songs.
Now look at what you just saw. This is what you live for. I'm on my life. Couldn't get Michael Kors if you was fucking Michael Kors. Spit on the floor, like you should. I'm a bad bitch, no mother. Anyway, Britney, why they so jelly since you teamed up with me? Telling them my son, yep, yelling mama pick me. Do you like my body and a Nicki? The done, yep, in London. Competition, why yes, I would love some. Talking about keys, say his keys in the van, but he really moved grams and he split it with his man.
And her style was completely revolutionary, bringing colorful hair and Harajuku-inspired looks that the world had only ever seen on pop stars. Nicki wasn't just changing everything, she was rewriting the rulebook of the rap industry. The first initial impact of Nicki's success was right at the cusp of the biggest make-or-break moment of Miley Cyrus's career. Hannah Montana was over, and her album Can't Be Tamed had been completely sabotaged by the Disney Channel. Was Miley gonna fade into obscurity or become the biggest star of our generation? Well, to become that star, Miley would be forced to switch up her image. In one of the most outlandish, creative, and risky moves made in the entertainment industry, Miley Cyrus would gravitate towards Nicki Minaj's producers, style, sound, and image, and create an all-new Miley. As the story goes, Miley shaved her head and transformed into what we know today as Bangers Miley. She would adopt a producer Nicki Ray Shremmerd and Rihanna had worked with named Mike Will Made It, and together they would create some of the most influential pop songs of all time. Now remember Mike Will Made It because he's gonna come up later in the video. Now the only problem with all these songs, being able to sing and rap were what set Nicki Minaj apart from every other artist out at the time. Miley's sound was so similar to Nicki's that one of Miley's demos she recorded titled Nightmare would be reworked into a song called The Night Is Still Young, one that Nicki would record and put on her record, The Pink Print. The beats of their songs at the time were actually interchangeable, and with Miley working exclusively with rappers and hip-hop producers, Nicki knew the charts were about to get crowded. Miley would even post a picture with Mike Will Will and Nicki Minaj in the studio together, but a collaboration never surfaced. It was clear the two were hyper aware of each other, and judging by Miley's career moves at the time, she was a massive barb. And it could have been something as simple as music politics getting in the way right off the bat. Take Miley Cyrus and Ariana Grande, for instance. While they purport to be really close friends, their labels have positioned them against each other in their careers, consistently releasing tracks on the same day as each other. And this was such a pattern that Miley and Ariana actually had to speak out about it and say that they were genuinely friends because their labels were making it look like they were sabotaging each other. Nicki has been one of Ariana Grande's most prolific collaborators, and Ariana has appeared on multiple of Nicki's albums. And at this stage in Miley's career, she was inspired by Rihanna and Nicki Minaj, but Nicki seemed less than pleased. The industry saw Nicki's success and wanted to make another her. Artists like Azalea Banks and Iggy Azalea were being signed left and right. Nicki's arch nemesis Lil' Kim would even put her hat in the ring when she helped develop a new artist named Tiffany Fox, whom she infamously crashed out on the radio with over Nicki Minaj.
There are people out there who would say, the way things played out with young Nicki, that it didn't necessarily...
Let me tell you something. I'm about to shut you down right now, okay? People do not know that story. That's number one. Number two, this is about Tiffany Fox, okay? And this is about IRS Queen B. So anything else is junking up our interview.
So needless to say, Lil' Kim is completely anti-Nicki Minaj.
Turning Pink Friday to Friday the 13th. Alright, you little Kim clone clown. All this buffoonery, the shit stops now.
But in February 2013, as Miley was working on her album, she would make a cameo in Tiffany Fox and Lil' Kim's single together called Twisted. Even name-dropping Miley in the song, saying, quote, "Where the hell did Miley go?"
But where the hell did Miley go?
In my opinion, this was definitely the start of the end. Even though Nicki was publicly praising Miley at the time, and they presented that European Music Award together, the waters were already murky. Miley was dominating hip-hop news, even dressing up as Nicki Minaj for Halloween the year prior.
Miley channeled her best Nicki Minaj for Halloween, and let me tell you, it was amazing. Complete with a neon yellow wig, watermelon pink lipstick, a leopard print jumpsuit, and a whole lot of attitude, the costume was so flawless, paparazzi probably thought they were photographing the wrong girl.
But she was also collaborating with Nicki's worst enemy. It seems like deliberate shade.
Our girl Miley seems to be trying to prove her bad girl image more than ever, and now hanging out with veteran rapper Lil' Kim and her protege Tiffany Fox for their newly released Twisted music video. In the clip, Miley seems to be having a blast, dancing it up on set at a party in the Hollywood Hills with her two new BFFs. Apparently, Miley has been a fan of Lil' Kim for quite some time now. Lil' Kim appeared on MTV's Rap Fix recently to promote her new artist, Tiffany Fox, and in the interview, Tiffany emphasized how much Miley loves Lil' Kim by stating, "She loves anything Kim do, so she loved me too." It seems like this music video sparked a new friendship between the three of them. Maybe in return, Lil' Kim and Tiffany Fox will make a cameo on Miley's new album.
Miley even speaking out saying, quote, "A lot of people wanted to try and make me the white Nicki Minaj. That's not what I'm trying to do. I love hood music, but my talent is as a singer." Now personally, I think this was music to Nicki's ears. Miley's album was gonna stick to what she did best, singing. But when bangers released and Miley was rapping, Nicki's entire tune changed.
Miley and Nicki absolutely dominated the years 2013 through 2015. When Nicki released Anaconda in 2014, Miley changed her profile picture to a photoshopped photo of her on the Anaconda cover. Nicki then reposted it and said, quote, "Give me one good reason this is Miley's profile picture right now." This is where things start to take a complete 180 turn from mutual admiration to mortal enemies. In 2015, Miley Cyrus was invited to host the Music Video Awards on MTV. At the time, Miley was shocking, and the network knew if they wanted ratings like they got in 2013, they needed to have Miley on screen as much as possible. When the nominations dropped for one of the biggest awards at the VMAs, Video of the Year, Anaconda was nowhere to be found, which is pretty wild if you look back on it because Anaconda at the time was a massive video. So Nicki went on a Twitter tirade, not only calling out the entire organization, but also the nominees of the category, saying that if you're both white and skinny, you'll be nominated for Video of the Year. Now, if you watch her Taylor Swift video, you already know Taylor said her piece on Twitter, but Miley, she would take it to the New York Times.
Uh-oh, do we have enough another pop star feud on our...
Using the right weight matters. The Body Pod lets you easily understand what is the fastest
No,
way to
Body
reach your
Pod!
health and fitness goals.
You will not
At an
sell your
accuracy of
baloney.
98%.
Miley Cyrus is speaking out about that Twitter rant Nicki Minaj went on after her Anaconda video did not get a Video of the Year nomination for this year's MTV Video Music Awards. You know, the one that caused all that drama with Taylor Swift. The VMA's host tells the New York Times that Nicki was in the wrong, calling her comments not very polite. Quote, "You made it about you. Not to sound like a bitch, but that's like, I didn't get my VMA." Miley also addressed Nicki's claims that the show supports body shaming and cultural appropriation. Quote, "If you want to make it about race, there's a way you could do that, but don't make it about yourself. Say, this is the reason why I think it's important to be nominated. There's girls everywhere with this body type."
The New York Times then asked, she may have alluded to Wrecking Ball also, saying that when a naked white girl breaks a Vivo record, she gets nominated. Miley said, quote, "I didn't follow it. You know what I always say? Not that this is jealousy, but jealousy is the opposite of what you want it to." That's a yoga mantra. People forget that the choices that they make and how they treat people in life affect you in a really big way. If you do things with an open heart and you come at things with love, you would be heard and I would respect your statement. But I don't respect your statement because of the anger that came with it. What I read sounded very Nicki Minaj, which, if you know, Nicki Minaj is not too kind. It's not very polite. I think there's a way you speak to people with openness and love. You don't have to start this pop star against pop star war. It became Nicki Minaj and Taylor in a fight. So now the story isn't even on what you wanted it to be about. Now you've just given E! News catfight. Taylor and Nicki go at it. I know you can make it seem like, oh, I just don't understand because I'm a white pop star. I know the statistics. I know what's going on in the world. But to be honest, I don't think MTV did that on purpose. Now that's the end of the New York Times interview that pertains to Nicki, but as we all know, the actual feud, the one between Taylor and Nicki, was resolved that night on stage to a very displeased Kanye West. But the Miley comments, Nicki hadn't forgotten. When she went to accept her award for Best Hip Hop Video, she ended her speech absolutely obliterating a completely blindsided Miley Cyrus in one of the most viral award show clips of all time.
Nicki went on to win the Best Hip Hop Video Award, but then called out Miley Cyrus for talking to a reporter about her.
And now,
Back to this bitch that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?
Hey, we're all in this industry. We all do interviews, and we all know how they manipulate. Nicki, congratulations. And just because the VMAs have already started.
Okay, didn't it seem a little WWE? A little bit?
Yeah, this is no Tupac and Biggie rivalry.
Okay,
Sure.
that's good
This
to
is
know.
nothing. This is no Ice Cube NWA sort of. No.
So maybe it was a show.
This
Who
is-
knows?
yeah.
We're not sure.
This is very toned down compared to the way those guys used to get down.
Nicki Minaj confirms her confrontation with Miley Cyrus at the VMAs was 100% real.
You never noticed how they actually cut Nicki's mic while she's still talking. All I was ever staring at was Rebel Wilson going like, oh, in the background, hyping everyone up. I don't know why she was even there. But MTV was clearly trying to protect their host, Miley, even though they would go on to release uncut clips of Miley's reaction to their social medias.
And now, back to this bitch that had a lot to say about me the other day in the press. Miley, what's good?
Hey, we're all in this industry. We all do interviews, and we all know how they manipulate shit. Nicki, congratulations. And just because the VMAs have already started doesn't mean that the voting is done.
This obviously made major headlines throughout the rest of the year. And Nicki would double down to the New York Times, saying, quote, "The fact that you feel upset about me speaking on something that affects black women makes me feel like you have some big visions. You're in videos with black men, and you're bringing out black women on your stages. But you don't want to know how black women feel about something that's so important. Come on, you can't want the good without the bad. If you want to enjoy our culture and our lifestyle, bond with us, dance with us, have fun with us, twerk with us, rap with us. then you should also want to know what affects us, what is bothering us, what we feel is unfair to us. You shouldn't not want to know that. Nicki would double down, featuring on a remix with Yo Gotti of Down in the DM, saying, quote, he said Kylie what's good, I said Miley what's good. While most of the Barbs were living for the drama, and some of the fans were caught in the crossfire, everyone couldn't help but compare Nicki Minaj's brazen confrontation of Miley to her relative silence towards her rap rivals. Nicki has feuded with Lil Kim for years. We barely scratched the surface in this video. They've traded diss tracks, subtweets.
Kim has been taking shots at Nicki in songs and interviews, songs that very few people hear. You have to hear them like on the internet because nobody's buying Kim music at this particular point. And interviews, except there's not a lot of interviews because it's, at this point it's all about Nicki Minaj. But so now Kim is taking to Twitter, which everybody has Twitter. As far as you, Nicki Minaj, you know what? You are dead wrong for not listing Kim as one of your influences at some point when people ask you about your career. You know, you aren't the first and you won't be the last. And you will one day hope that somebody lists you as their influence. And with that in mind, shout out to Oprah.
I saw you say that you would do a versus with 1 or 2 people. We all got to guessing. I already know who one of those people would and should be. I guess would be Kim. It's just Kim and Missy. And maybe Lauren, but I don't even see that. I don't see it stylistically.
I haven't said anyone's name, and
only me. Yeah, no. I'm saying the name.
I'm not saying anybody's name.
But Nicki never had a face-to-face showdown with Kim on a public stage that was televised. When Nicki zeroed in on Miley, who is not a rapper and was 10 plus years younger, some critics snarked that Nicki was acting brave with a pop star, quote, soft target, but had never confronted Lil Kim in person. Nonetheless, in 2016, Miley Cyrus would attempt to completely distance herself from her 2013 through 15 persona, as she would re-engage to Liam Hemsworth and take a backseat to the drama. But Nicki would go full force, feuding with Remy Ma in 2017 and coming for Cardi B's neck in 2018. But the Miley drama still followed. Now, I don't know if you've listened to Remy Ma's diss track on Nicki Minaj called Sheether, but Remy directly called Nicki out for how she treated Miley, rapping in the song, quote, how are you in the VMAs acting like you hood? Way across the stage talking about Miley what's good. That's Hannah Montana. She was always happy, end quote. It was clear. The moment where Nicki called Miley out was a major moment for both of their careers. But Nicki had chosen a competitive path where she took no prisoners. And Miley was back to her perfect country persona, acting as if she was running for president. But all of that would change in the year 2019.
Around 2018, rap superstar Cardi B would debut to the world with one of the most decorated female rap albums in human history. The industry knew if they wanted a worthy adversary against Nicki, they would have to award her and position her as a true cultural juggernaut. Cardi B was instantly across every TV station and social media site, emulating the style and music we'd seen Nicki Minaj dominate in the years prior. In the same year, Miley Cyrus was working on 3 EP projects titled She Is Coming, She Is Here, and She Is Miley Cyrus. The latter 2 would be canceled as Miley later admitted they were mid. But on the first record, a song called Catitude featuring RuPaul would cause a huge stir. Miley purring on the track, I love you, Nicki, but I listen to Cardi. Now this is only the lyrics that came out. In the original demo of Catitude, Miley was going completely off on Nicki, stating in her diss track,
you're just mad because your hair is black, your record's whack and you seem to attract. You're just mad because you're fake as with your big old and a big old butt. I hope you know I like being a, and when you said that I got a Justin Bieber cut. On the moon, I'm stars, I'm a Maserati. I love you, Nicki, but I listen to Cardi.
In a radio interview a few weeks after releasing the song, Miley tried to downplay the controversy. She insisted she wasn't picking sides.
We all know that Nicki Minaj and Cardi B are longtime enemies, and we couldn't figure out why on earth Miley would want to insert herself into that narrative, given she's already been on Nicki's bad side before.
That had a lot to
Same.
say about me the other day in the
Same,
press.
I'm going to
Miley
bed.
was good.
But I want to finish watching this, because it's almost done.
But in Catitude, Miley made it very clear she wasn't choosing sides. Miley said, quote, I don't think there is beef now anymore, which as far as we know, there isn't. Cardi and Nicki supposedly made up in October when Cardi posted Nicki's tweet on Instagram saying, quote, Nicki Minaj, alright then, let's keep it positive and keep it pushing. So why would Miley pit these two against each other, like despite the beef having been settled? Yeah, Miley, like what's good? Miley actually had a very different message she was trying to get across with this lyric. She even replaced the names Nicki and Cardi with Selena and Demi and herself and Ariana on Twitter. She explained her greater message about comparing similar artists. Miley said, quote, I think you're allowed to enjoy two artists who fill a similar lane. And I grew up always collaborating with Selena and Demi, and there was never competition.
Lucky enough for Miley, Nicki was hosting Queen Radio on Apple Music, and she was able to react live, labeling Miley as a Purdue chicken.
The beef is real between Miley Cyrus and Nicki Minaj, because on Nicki Minaj's radio show on Friday, she was talking about the new Catitude song from Miley Cyrus. Not, she's like, I'm taking this as a diss. And then she said about Miley Cyrus, Purdue chickens can never talk beep about queens, to which Purdue replied with a tweet. And they said, thank you for the mention, Nicki, but we don't know nothing about beef.
And basically, when Purdue Chicken released that tweet, I said, oh, Purdue Chicken!
Now, this all set the internet completely on fire. Not only was Nicki coming for Miley's body, but she alleged a relationship between Mike Will and Miley. These claims were substantiated by rumors they hooked up between 2013-2014, and the water got even murkier when it was clear Miley was long broken up with Liam. Did Miley and Mike Will date? Well, we may never know about that, but it just seems like Nicki and Miley might always be enemies. Was it the fact that Bangers outsold the Pink Print? Was it the VMA nominations? Or Miley's ever so loose tongue? To this day, neither will speak on each other. All that remains are the most iconic pop culture moments of all time, and the world's memories of when the Queen of Disney Channel crossed paths with the undisputed Queen of Rap.
Alright, that's it. I'm going to bed. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate being here. Don't forget to check out